Wednesdays. Hopefully this works out. My computer has been having all the issues, but here we are. I just lost somebody. Jacob just dipped for a second. He'll be back. So I've been having a bunch of issues. As you may have noticed, we cut off early last Wednesday. Sunday didn't barely even happen at all, etc., etc. But here we are, ready to hopefully rock a case of the Wednesdays live Dungeons & Dragons stream. This is Ladies of the Night, episode 1. Next to me I have Katie. She's playing Bitch Slap. Bitch Slap is a half-orc barbarian, Path of the Wolf Totem barbarian. And next to her is Mike playing Aram, our elf sorcerer with draconic bloodline. And then we have Cal playing Xenavie, a half-elven rogue assassin. We have Jacob missing in action right now. He's playing Balar. He is a human Circle of the Moon druid with a couple of dots in Warlock as well. And last but not least, we have Cheyenne. She's playing Sylvia. Sylvia is our wonderful tiefling fighter archer. And Kelly, or Bear, is not playing tonight. I guess he's last but not least, but he's also not here, so he is least. Bear is having some electrical issues at home on the ranch, the homestead, so he will not be in to mess around with his lovely bard Labolo tonight. And he may show up later, but as of right now, not coming. He's got some bardly things to do outside of the general context of murder, which is what we're up to tonight. So guys, tell me about it. I know we had a brief session last week after the session and kind of discussed some ideas and plots and plans, and you guys had a week to kind of think through it and what you wanted to do. So go ahead and discuss how we want to go about murdering this dude.
Violently.
Violently. I like that.
Okay.
I think we had some pretty good ideas where to kind of get started last week. Just kind of spreading out and seeing what we can do as far as getting any information about him, his guards, where they go, what the schedule is, where he's going to be, where he lives, where he sleeps, what that kind of situation is, and just really collecting as much information as fast as we can, because we only have 2 days to figure out how to do this.
Okay. I like it. So what's first, though? I mean, you guys are sitting around a private table in one of the more swanky rooms you guys decided to purchase from the inn.
I used to work for the guard.
That was the thought I just had, is are there any current guards in the city that may or may not owe you a favor for you, like, saving their life or something? You could get information from.
I don't know, Dane, would there possibly be? I didn't add that into my backstory.
No,
so.
I don't know that you made any real true friends. I think, based on what we've talked about, you're kind of, I wouldn't say an outcast, but...
Definitely kept my head down, though.
What's that?
Definitely just kept my head down, though.
Yeah, you were trying to, like, prove yourself without drawing attention to yourself, so I don't think that you necessarily made a bunch of friends in the guard, unfortunately, here in Summerside.
I remember I had the name of the person, like the leader. I'm just trying to look for my bookmarks right now. The person who ran everything. I can't think.
Like the captain of the guard?
Yes.
Oh god, hopefully that's in your notes, because I don't have it.
It's in my notes, I just can't find which notes it is.
Just make
I have it
something
all.
up. Dane doesn't have it.
Stop. And I guess that's fine too.
What she said.
Oh, god damn it. It's right here.
Oh, it's right here. Pulls up a blank paper.
But it was blank for a minute and I kind of panicked. It just says city guard. Nope.
Okay, so we're off to the right start then.
My notes are either really good or really bad. It all depends on the day.
Depends on how you're feeling that day. That's all right. So we've got ways to go before we know what you guys are doing, because there's a lot to it. So we've discussed that there's a festival coming up. in which the cleric in question, the cleric who shall be unnamed until he isn't, the one that you guys are plotting murder on.
We actually found a whole bunch of information on him already. We should have his name by now.
Did you find a bunch of information on him?
Yeah.
Zenobie got the mission order, so we should have at least basic information.
Yeah, and you had his name. It was a joke. He had 6 guards. You have 48 hours to get it done. Right?
Yeah.
The Harvest Festival is basically right now, and he is going to make an appearance at the end of it. Basically at the tail end of your 48 hours, he's going to be making an end of festival appearance.
Right. So that would lead me to believe if we know who he is and who his guards are and where he's going to be, then we should have his name.
I said you had his name. What do you mean? What are you arguing for?
But what is his name?
Okay, it's coming, Mike. It's coming.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you the name. We can talk about, say, the cleric for now, and I'll figure out what I want to do with it. Again, I also have nothing. All of the things I have put into this at this point, I'm gonna have to wing a little bit because I had to plot outside of Fantasy Grounds, being that my computers hate me today. So, or actually the last 2 weeks, both computers have hated me. So, I am working a little thin around the edges as well. What'd you say?
So you're doing great.
Whatever, I'll make it happen. We'll work off Beyond and Zoom, and we'll have a fun time. Hell, it might even be more fun for people. Who knows? I do have that above VTT stuff, but I didn't learn how to use it yet, so I don't really know. Besides sharing a thing, so we'll try a little theater of the mind and see how you guys feel about it, and see how it feels for everybody and goes, and maybe people like it more. Never know. All right, so you're in Summerside, large city, plenty of things, all at the same. All at the same place. You're all at the same inn, right? At the end of the day, you all ended up at the same inn. Sorry, it's loading. Boop. Somewhere there it is. And that inn was anybody got it for inspiration that you already have?
There's iron in the name.
Oh, you're doing all right. Ironclad Inn.
Ironclad.
I left all those notes on Fantasy Grounds. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. Excuses are good. Excuse me. So, all right. So, Ironclad Inn is where you guys are. You have a private room there. You're having a discussion. You, at some point in time in the discussion, discussed all dressing up as ladies of the night to sneak around and get around guards and bypass problems and get places you're not supposed to, as courtesans or whatever you want to call them. So is that still the main plan then? Are you guys all gonna get all dragged up for a couple of you and dressed up for a couple others and finally get bitch slap in a dress, or what do you guys want to do?
I mean, that was kind of a shot in the dark idea.
Oh.
More meant as a distraction for the guards than anything.
Seemed more feasible than anything else you guys discussed.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You just want bitch slap in a dress.
I mean, it's still an option, but
I mean, if I recognize the guards, I could possibly try to stir up conversation with them so you guys can get in and do your thing.
I mean, Zenobie, you got like an underground contact.
I do, but that is the thing. He's not the client. He had the contract from the client, so I don't know actually how much he knows about it.
But he lives here, so he should at least.
Oh, he does live here. That makes sense.
Information or know who has information.
Okay, we can go see. My notes are also all on Fantasy Grounds.
We're gonna make new stuff up, so apologies, fan base. We may have to make some new things up to fit, but it's gonna be fine. It's a fantasy game.
I'm gonna call him Steve for now.
Oh, Franz's friend.
Franz's friend Steve.
Oh,
All right, we'll see. What we can call him, Steve.
Steve is my go-to name.
Oh, well, hopefully don't use it again. It'll get very confusing.
Everyone's Steve.
So,
Okay, yeah, we can meet with my other criminal contact now. See if he has any more information.
Anybody got any other ideas?
I mean,
Um,
just
And maybe get somebody shit-faced and see if they know anything.
I mean, that would require us actually determining who would be the best one to get that information from, and it's probably time we don't have.
Yeah.
Not with a 48-hour window.
I mean, obviously, if we could get one of his guards shit-faced enough to spill some information, that'd be great, but we need to know where to find them first. So, I mean, unless somebody's got a good idea, I think hitting up Zenevie's contact is going to be the best bet.
Yeah.
so Lobolo comes sauntering in, very Lobolo-esque, shiny new clothes, polished up, freshly shaven, hair done oh so coiffed. And he comes in, and for those watching, Lobolo is our our last and final player of the team, who's not here tonight. However, I will utilize him in ways. So here he goes. He comes in, he saunters over to up to your guys' room and comes in and he says, it is I, Lobolo, as you well know. I don't know how Kelly speaks, but this is how it's going to be tonight. And he says, so I did a little due diligence while you all, slept in and got your beauty rests after my haircut. I spoke to so-and-so and such, and here's what I learned. And he has the guards' schedule. He managed to figure that out by just going different places around town and sitting and watching and hanging out. He looks a little tired, but you can't tell due to the eye makeup and stuff he has on to disguise himself to not look tired because he's a vain bard. But he does have their general schedule, and it does appear that they work 3 shifts, 2 guards per shift for anything besides events. So for the instance when he's making a public appearance, and it's Prime Counselor Belifax, or Balifax or Balifax, depending on who's saying it, is his 6 guards will all be there at the actual public appearance. So typically he's got 2 men with him at any given time, and they rotate on regular intervals. Basically they have a morning, an afternoon, and an evening shift, but he's under 24-hour surveillance.
Okay, so the easiest time to hit him dealing with the least amount of guards is going to be before the festival, before his appearance at the festival.
Potentially. I mean, that's when the least amounts of guards will be around him, is any time besides when he's doing his public appearance. Whether it's before or after the festival. Just the time runs out. Basically, by the time he goes public, your time is up. I think that's maybe the idea of what they're trying to avoid, is him actually going public. Is maybe the feel you get for it as the time frame lines up perfectly before his scheduled appearance.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, because you have a lot of words there, the timeline is going to end right before he makes the public appearance.
Yes. The hour that he's publicly appearing is the final hour.
Okay.
So if all else fails...
Before that, or while he's on a stage in front of everybody.
Yep, and there's no stipulations as to whether it needs to be public or not. It can be whatever.
Does, on the schedule Lobolo has, does it have the names of the guards?
He's only got 2 of the guards' names that he could come up with.
Does it have the names of the guards?
He has 2 of the names. He's only got 2 of the guards' names that he could come up with.
Somebody's echoing.
Got it. Thanks for following, Chris. All right, so 2 of the guards' names. Are you ready for them?
Yep.
Perfect. It's Stefan and Steven.
Stefan and Steven.
So Franz's friend Steve is at the bar, and the 2 guards' names you were able to figure out are Stefan and Steven.
Okay.
I'm here for you, Cal. This is all for you, Cal. Just
can't wait for all the Steve variations.
All right. Well,
Um,
guard 1 is Stefan.
Zenevie's gonna look at Sylvia and be like, "You recognize either of those?"
You would. Roll a history check. Do you have history as a skill? You probably don't.
Possibly.
I doubt that you will as a fighter, but feel free to have fun with it and see if you can. Were you able to get your character back? Were you able to grab your character?
I was not, but I do have my other character sheet pulled up.
Okay. So
So I
you have
can
more
really see
problems
that
than I
one.
do with technology, I feel like.
You know what, Dane?
Just barely. Just barely.
That was a nat 20. What's the history?
I don't know. Get the camera on that. Get the camera on that.
I thought.
I'm just kidding. She does. It's
No,
right
I'll show
here.
you. I'll show you.
Look at the table, man. It's a 20.
Look at it.
Screw you, Dane. It's a 20. Give me my knowledge, you bastard. You actually knew that there were no Steves, Stefans, Stethans, Stevens, Stevens, Steves. There were none of those like in the actual guard. These sound more like privately contracted personnel.
What about
No,
Esteban?
Stefania.
There is an Esteban, but he was out on patrol, so it's probably not him. He works with the main guard. Damn.
Was Lobolo able to get any more information about them?
As he's like talking, you notice he has a couple of hickeys, and he doesn't have much other information. He says he got awful busy in his time, talking to the different ladies of the night about what is all out there and what's going on and who's what and where. He did get some other knowledge about town, but nothing to do with this. He had to tread carefully as he didn't want anyone to know that you guys would be involved. I'm sure the last thing you guys want is the entire town of Summerside after you.
Weren't we possibly
Might be
talking
fun.
about switching out all of his water with like poison or something?
Yeah, you guys did mention changing the water out with poison, and then I don't remember how you discussed.
No, we were.
No,
We had
we're going to
contemplated
change out the
poisoning
oil.
him. We were going to change out for oil and then set the whole building on fire.
Right, you're gonna set the building on fire
Yeah.
and change all the water barrels
Arson.
into oil barrels, so when they threw water on it,
It's just
it exploded.
still on the table. We just gotta figure out how.
There was also talk of Jacob. You were going to turn into a bug and go in with somebody else who snuck in, or somebody's going to present themselves to somebody. It was like Bitch Slap was going to be on the backside of Genevieve for some reason. They were going to get in there and be nearby. Like what was that talk? We had talked about that a little bit too.
I had ran out the idea. I have I don't remember what the spell's called, but something that gives a +10 to stealth checks. So if
That's not a trace.
Yeah, pass without a trace. So if I cast that and then shape-shifted into a tiny, discreet animal and was carried by Genevieve, she would get a +10 to her stealth checks, which are already immaculate because she's a rogue, out of character, of course, and then be able to sneak in and issue some semblance of poison and or god stabbing.
That's right.
So you could fly up his nose, and how do you go back to being a human?
I just
Oh
reversed.
my god.
It's a bonus action.
I
You
just
guys know
feel
where I
like
am going with this.
I know exactly.
Oh, we're
where
thinking
you're
the
going.
Ant-Man theory.
We're Ant-Man theory, yes.
That being said, yeah, I mean, in theory, I couldn't fly. I'd have to crawl or be placed in his nose.
Well,
But
that's
I
why
mean-
that's why we had switched to the switching water to oil theory. Let you sneak in as a bug after I gave you Dragon's Breath.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Because then I could light it and nobody would know.
You guys are the
Right.
worst.
I mean,
We're
we
just
do it when
really
he's in bear
creative.
form. Why not do it while he's
I like the Ant-Man theory. I want to shapeshift to a rat and see how that plays out.
You want to be a rat and do the Ant-Man theory?
Hey, it'll fit, okay? Anybody who's
Where would
studied
it
anything
fit?
medical
Where is
knows
it sitting?
you could do like a whole chicken egg without it.
No,
breaking.
no. See, I believe you. I'm just like, is that really the animal you want to go with?
Well, I feel like I'm gonna need
This
something with
is
claws of some sort
creepy.
in case he starts, in case he like clenches and starts resisting. Then I can, you know.
You guys are a hot
We're
mess.
awful.
You guys are a hot mess, is what you are.
Hey, I'm just rolling with. You gave me the idea. I'm making it happen.
I gave you the
That's what's
idea.
going- No, she did.
Okay.
Her right there.
I
I don't know
love
if she's
the
below me on
idea.
your screen, but
Gotcha. Well, I will say that Katie is probably the worst of you guys, so we'll just leave it at that. She has the worst ideas for sure, the most malicious.
Yeah.
So to discuss more though, so you now have that there's 3 shifts. You know Steven and Stefan with an F. That's important. That's important later when we get to the other Stevens and Stefans and Stefans, as there will be many. So you have
the can of worms.
You have schedules. You've discussed changing oil out somehow by using the Lady of the Night theory, where you go in as Ladies of the Night and change all the water barrels out, like the reserve fire just extinguishing water barrels out for oil. You've discussed the Ant-Man theory, where somehow or another Jacob gets inside the guy and then expands or breathes fire into him. What other plans or options or things you guys want to look at before feel free to say that's the one, let's do it, and we'll see how it turns out. But be prepared to make new characters. This is what I would consider as a long-standing Dungeon Master a deadly encounter, regardless what direction you guys go. There's probably one non-deadly encounter involved. There's probably one way you guys could kill this guy without it becoming a deadly deadly encounter. So, if you don't do it, it's deadly because Cal gets killed. If you do it, it's deadly because it's dangerous.
I don't want to lose Cal though.
Well, you better kill this guy. Then. She signed on.
At this point, can we find any history on what this guy's abilities are as a cleric?
Possibly.
Like, can we decipher if he can actually cure poison?
Sure. So we have 48 hours. Let's discuss this what all we can get done. So I already gave you the Lobolo thing. He found out that the guards are in 2s and that there's 6 of them, and 2 of their names are Stevens and Stefan or whatever. But what you didn't get was the rest of what you guys get. So there's 5 of you and 2 days to do it. Depending on what time you want to set as your last time to accomplish the mission, I will grant you each X amount of actions to utilize a skill or an ability to find out given information. Then we'll have skill checks or ability checks to do whatever path you guys have chosen.
Okay,
so if we can land on a time, I can tell you for sure. If it's just today, I would probably give you each 2 actions. If it's waiting until the last possible second, you could each have 4 total actions. Each.
Okay, well, knowing that there's a chance that we might be able to decipher if he can actually cure poisons or not, knowing that he can would completely eliminate poisoning him. If we can find out if he can't, sneaking Cal into somewhere to drop some poison into food, water, wine, whatever it is, so he ingests it, would probably be the safest route. The Ant-Man theory sounds awesome, and I would love to watch that play out. I don't know what kind of damage that's going to do to you, though.
Mentally or physically?
Both.
Take 32,000 points of mental damage.
You die from mental damage. You saw the inside of someone's stomach.
Take 30 damage of trauma.
I think at one point we discussed a nighttime excursion. If we could find out whether or not he had a room that was accessible.
Yeah, so I know we got the guard schedule, but didn't get his schedule. So we still don't know where he's going to be for the next 48 hours until he's at making his appearance.
So the way these actions work for you guys is that since you each get 4, there's probably 1 to 4 things that each of you would want to do that you would be best suited for to figure out information as to how to plan your murder time.
All right.
So maybe take a look at your characters, see what skills you have in particular that might come in handy, or abilities, or if you have a disguise kit or things like that could come in handy for getting information? Because as of right now, you guys don't know enough to make a good decision.
I do, in fact, have a disguise kit.
I know. I just mentioned it because it was like like one for instance of, you know.
Got some crock jerky. Can we bribe some people?
Hell,
Make
I had
friends with
asked
them? That always works.
yeah,
I had asked.
go ahead. The jerky does work.
I also thought the plan of like finding one or two of the guards, drinking them up, and trying to get information out of them that way might be helpful.
Labola says, but if we mess that up, though, we give away that we're even interested.
That's true. That's true.
So for those of you just joining, we've got 6 party members, one of which is not here tonight, but I am NPCing, sitting around a kind of lavish hotel room with a personal dining room and a large bed and its own bathtub and everything, and they're discussing ways to figure out information so that they can plan the murder of a high-level, high-ranked politician who is also a cleric in a large coastal city known as Summerside.
Genevieve, is there any chance you can probe Franz's friend about who gave us the contract?
You mean
I
Steve?
can Yeah, Steve.
Steve.
Okay. I can definitely attempt to.
Because maybe the person who wants him dead can give us the information we're looking for.
Yeah, I can definitely just go back to what is it? The red sock.
I believe the Red Sock is I think where you met Steve.
Yeah, the red sock, and just probe Steve, probe any other unsavory characters there for some information.
Now, if that's going to count as an action, I feel like it's going to be a wasted one, because I'm pretty sure whoever wants him dead is going to want to remain anonymous, given how high a stature this individual has in the community. I don't think they're going to want to be known as the person who hired the unsavories to do the killing.
Yeah, but that's like sending a 15-year-old boy into a cave and telling him to go kill the lizard, and it's a 150,000-year-old dragon. I mean, you know,
the point of hiring an assassin is anonymity. I can guarantee you right now, we're never going to figure out who did it, short of torturing the person who gave us the contract within an inch of their life, and even then, I think we're better spending our time, one, figuring out where he's going to be for the next 48 hours. We have to know where he's going to be, or we can't have a plan. So that's a must. 2, figuring out what his capabilities are so we can work out what our options are that he's least likely to have a defense for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a cleric, right? A cleric for Lathander?
A Lathanderian cleric, yep. That is what his claim to fame is. He's a cleric to Lathander.
Is anybody like good with religion or anything and would be able to scope out the temple and get any information that way?
You personally would remember the last time you guys had an exchange. Well, wait, no. Who was there? Who actually was with the? Who was there when the Lathanderian cleric and you guys talked to each other?
Me, Zenevieve, Bitch Slap, and Aram.
Who was alive?
We're the Zenevieve, Bitch Slap, and Aram.
Okay. So I mean, the last time you had any experience with any Lathanderian clerics would get a bad taste in your mouth. But you're welcome to go and do that. I'm not here to tell you guys you can't try anything. You just each get basically. And if we're aiming to kill the dude by the last essentially possible second, you have 4 actions each, which you guys have to say this is what I'm doing, because I'm not going to just take them from you. But I'm also not giving you a bunch of free stuff either, so you guys have to, utilize actions and things.
I mean, it's going to be harder, but I really think trying to kill him by morning is going to be the best bet.
Kill him after the time frame, or you mean before tomorrow even gets going? So you're saying 2
by
actions
tonight.
each.
Tonight, basically. So a 2 action each. I know it's going to be harder. We don't get as much information and time to figure it out, but I think doing it at night is going to be ideal, and we only get 1 night before time's up.
Well, I think I've proven this. I think I've proven this time and time again that I'm more of a burn it all down and sort the ashes out later type of guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not the one to be talking to about doing this tonight because
Fireball!
right. Let's burn the house down. We'll call it even. You know, I mean,
For being neutral, you sure went from I'm neutral to let's kill everybody in 5 seconds with a giant fireball real fast.
So out of character, Dane, question.
Oh.
Can we take our first 2 actions and then come back together and make a decision if we want to proceed with the course of action or
Oh yeah,
take the additional 2?
I would say so. The only reason I would ever say that you couldn't do that would be if somebody's action bled into the next day because of what they're doing. Like somebody positioned themselves in a space where they are essentially planning on doing X unless Y happens, but then Z happens. They're stuck in that position, forfeiting actions. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a little convoluted, but does it make sense?
Yeah, no, I got you.
So I have no problem. I mean, you could do 1 action. All of you do 1 action and then go and do it. That's fine. Or you can all do 2 actions. Or you can do 3. I'm just saying you have 4 total, and you know, up to the wire.
And that's per person, right?
Per person. So that's quite a bit. So I mean, discussing. I mean, you could even do the first. We could just do the first wave of actions now. Each person does whatever action they think they need to do to figure out whatever information. I can give you information. Reconvene at the little table in your room here, and at the Ironclad Inn. And then if that means you're ready, then go. And we do action 2, and then action 2 is the murder time.
Really need Lobolo here. He's good at talking to people.
he is. And Lobolo's here. He's just in here in my spirit, you know. Poor guy. He should have went to Denny's and charged his phone all day.
actually, he's sent me a couple messages in regards to what we're doing here.
Oh yeah, he can't hop on Zoom and just pop in with it.
So I think he's watching.
I know he's watching. I saw his name on there.
But I answered him because the questions that he's asking me, I could answer. I didn't need to relay that to the group.
Okay. But yeah, Kelly, if you can pop on Zoom, bro, we'd love to have you in here for the discussion. I know you had some questions and things.
That's where the Zenevieve probe, the contact idea came from.
Oh yeah.
So right off the bat, we got to figure out where the cleric's going to be and what his capabilities are.
Okay.
So
All right.
how do we want to go
I'll
about?
make a list. I'll make a list for you guys. Where is he?
Okay.
Where is he going to be? Capabilities, right?
Yep. And those are the first 2 things we should focus on using our actions to figure out. Or at least the where. You know, if we can't figure out what his capabilities are, we'll have to wing it. But we definitely need to figure out where he's going to be. So how do we want to go about that?
Well, he.
That's okay. I'll just take the phone. Maybe I'll.
Is he from
I'll put some,
this town?
Is the cleric from this town?
Yeah.
I would need to do it.
Oh, I think I hear PJ or I hear your daughter, Mike. It has to be her.
Not
No.
my roommate.
Oh, it's your okay. I swear it sounded like your kid, Chelsea.
She sounds
Yeah,
like
no.
a kid.
Okay, sorry, I was confused about what was happening. Okay, so wait now. Say it again.
So is the cleric a longtime resident of this town?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Did he-
So the
did-
cleric
did
has
he
been
tr-
here. The cleric is human.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned that. Maybe I didn't. He is human, and he's been here about 20 years. He is in his 50s.
Okay. So there's a good chance he was trained here?
No, he was a cleric. But I mean, you might not know that. Do you want to use an action to
Okay.
find out?
Well, I'm thinking about ways of trying to find out what he's capable of doing. If he was trained here, then we could check in with the school he trained at. To
There's
get
no
the
Temple of
information.
Lathander here.
Okay, so he obviously wasn't trained here. Okay, that's okay. The there's wasn't there that big giant library
The
in
Nomenclature
the top
Institute.
right corner?
Yeah,
Right.
top left corner. But yeah.
Okay, top left corner of the map. Right. Okay, the nomenclature, and that place has got books upon books about all kinds of stuff.
They may
Yes,
have
but
personnel
Lobolo
records.
tried to get in there recently, and they basically turned him away and said he needed an appointment. And he said, well, how do I get an appointment? And they said, you set one, and then they shut the door in his face.
Okay. Does anybody of importance come out of the nomenclature to go have food, drinks? And when I say people of importance, I'm not talking about like the top big wigs. I'm talking about like I don't want to say students, but it's like mid-level.
There's students and there's staff. Yes.
Staff, there we go,
Short
staff.
answer, yes. People leave the Nomenclature Institute. It's not a closed off penitentiary. It's a walled off and gated community of sorts, as it's essentially a college campus for wizards.
Okay.
And it's a library as well.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to take my actions. I am going to see about finding somebody who works at the nomenclature to give up a name of a supervisor. And I'm going to use that name to get into the nomenclature and get information on the cleric. Maybe?
That sounds solid.
I don't know. Anybody see anything that might not work with that or disagree? All right. Well, I guess I got my plan.
All right, Mike's first action is go to the Nomenclature Institute to meet someone of power.
I'm trying to find some staff member of some sort so I can get a name to use to get in the door. Like I'm gonna hang out.
You're just trying to access the Nomenclature Institute so you can see if you can get a hold of their historical documents and do some research.
Right.
Okay. I can just do your action. It'll be a skill. So what skill do you think applies?
Probably my first one would probably be a perception because I'd be watching the doors looking for somebody to.
Yeah, I'm open to that. I'm open to you figuring out who it is first. Investigation or perception works.
Okay.
Perception is going to be more of a guess. Investigation will be more of a hypothesis.
Okay, well, my perception is probably going to be better than my investigation. I can tell you that right now because that's
it just might be wrong because you might be perceiving something and be wrong about it. Whereas if you investigate it, you know for facts like that guy right there is Steve-O, the mighty floor sweeper of the Nomenclature Institute. He would know a master for me to speak to.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pay attention to what they're talking about as they leave. I'm trying to talk about the guy walking out the door going, oh, God, that guy was such a ass for giving me that task today. I'm looking for that guy.
Okay. How long are you going to stake it out for? Obviously, it's basically the half a day because you have 2 actions a day. So half a day is what you're going to spend on it. If it goes over, would you spend another action to finish finding out?
If I necessarily need to. Okay. I mean, I'm going to
try and what you're open to.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this done within the time frame of by tonight, so I have enough time to get the name, get in, find out information on this cleric, and get back to the group before tonight. So I understand that'll probably make it a little bit more difficult for me to do what I'm looking to do.
Let's see your perception check. Let's start with that. Are you rolling in beyond?
Yeah, 15.
Is that for everyone or just for you?
That's just for me because I'm the only one on this task as far as I know.
No, I mean the rolls. Where are you putting the rolls?
Oh, I just clicked on it and it rolled. Okay. Did I not do it right?
Nope, it came through. It came through because you can change it from everyone to self, and as long as you have it on everyone, I can see it. Everybody gets a chance to see it when it comes up. So you got a 15.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
And that's to see someone who you can talk to figure out who you need, how to get in, essentially.
Right. Yep.
So a middle-aged teenage style human, someone like maybe between 17 and 19-year-old human male. With shaved sides of his head and like a weird, like lopsided bowl cut in gray acolyte robes, is heading towards the Nomenclature Institute as you're staking out the corner of it. You're no longer in the room with them. You've went to the Nomenclature to kind of keep an eye on, to take a look at things. And as you're sitting kind of there leaning against one of the magic light posts or whatever, you notice what can only be a Nomenclature acolyte, as you're relatively aware just by having done perceiving things, that the gray robes are some sort of acolyte or apprentice wizards. But you do see one approaching. He has, like I said, shaved sides of his head and a lopsided bowl cut. He's a stickly little dude, obviously a wizard of some sort. He's carrying 3 large bound books with him, and he has a staff as well, which he's having trouble holding the staff and the 3 books all at once. He's like kind of struggling.
Gotcha.
A bumbling student.
Well, if he's bumbling with books, how about I walk up and ask him if I could give him a hand?
Oh no, that's okay. He says in his like super awkward 17 to 19-year-old young nerdy book reading magic user voice. Oh, I got it. No big deal. Oh God, he basically butters. And he, but he's got these books and they're kind of balancing. He's got the staff. He's holding it all together. He's kind of got it bound. He's like, oh, I appreciate the offer, though, Mr. Elf. Oh God,
And then I'll say, if you drop one of those books, you're going to lose your head, right?
Is that deception? You think?
Yeah, that's deception.
Let's look at it.
17.
That's pretty good. Let me just double check him here. He's not really great at things. Oh yeah. Oh golly, I really can't damage these books, Mr. Elf. I guess I sure would appreciate a hand.
Yeah, and I'll take
the staff. He hands you a staff.
Yeah.
It's a plain wood staff with an iron cap on either end. It does not appear to be magical, but it looks like he's maybe been carving around it a bit. He maybe is attempting to make it a focus, but it's not quite there yet. And so he hands you his staff, and he readjusts the books, and he takes his staff back. He's got a better grip on things now. He's like, oh, I appreciate it, Mr. Elf. Golly, if you hadn't came along, I for sure would have dropped these. Could have damaged the bindings. Oh, God.
Definitely. My name's Aramillion, by the way.
Oh,
you don't have to call me Elf. And most people just call me Aram.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Steffi.
Steffi, nice to meet you.
Sorry, there's only so many Steves. It's the night of Steves, ladies. The night of Steves.
Are you going to be able to get these books in there by yourself?
Oh, I think I got it now, Mr. Alpha. Aram. Oh, it's really awful nice of you. I don't really have any gold or anything, or I'd pay you for your assistance. As a tip.
Honestly, I'm not looking for handouts or money, but I do have one question I'd like to ask you, if it would be all right. I'm doing some research on people of the town. I've just been kind of learning to do historical things.
Huh.
Is there any way I could come look at the manuscripts and things on the town here in this great grand place of knowledge?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could get a visitor pass. Here, come on. And he starts kind of, beanpole walking towards the front gate where there's what appears to be some sort of battle wizard. Definitely elf of some sort. Has armor on though, but you can sense raw arcane power kind of flowing off just away from this gate keeper. But
okay.
You approach with Steffi, and and Steffi get up there, and Steffi says, "Oh, hey, Stevie, This guy here, Aram, he just he wanted to get a guest pass. Can you see if he could go use the library section? He's doing some research for something. And then the elf kind of gives you looks you up and down, and kind of you could, I don't know. Give me an insight check, Mike.
Oof, not so well.
What was it? Can you guys
A
call
1.
them out for me? I don't always have it up.
7.
Okay, so 7. So you're not sure if this elf appreciates you or not, but he does, however, give you essentially a stick-on name tag, and it says Aram guest, and he like slaps on your chest, and it magically binds to your chest piece on the proper side. You know, so it says it Aram in kind of squiggly elf letters, and then it says under, like I said, it says guest, and he literally slaps it on you, and he points. He says, "You can only go this building here and that way. Stay on the main path." And he's got a very deep, heavily accented elven voice. Oddly enough, you don't recognize the elven accent. You're not sure where he hails from. Daedon de Eris, you're not really sure?
Obviously not from where I'm from.
Not from where you're from. It's a thick elf. It is elven. It is an elvish accent. You hear the twings of the beautiful mystic language of the elves, but you don't. You can't place the exact like region or clan.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, I obtained what I was after, so
Perfect.
I mean, I'm not super worried about that.
So action 1 was getting in, right?
Yeah.
So action 2 then for the rest of the day is doing research. Is that fair?
Digging through the library info, trying to find out anything and everything I can on senior cleric.
Senior cleric, Well, do you have history?
No.
You have arcana.
Yes.
Too bad it won't work here. Do history, just normal old history, but I'll give you advantage. Since you have an Elvis. That wasn't Elvis. Oh.
10.
10. Okay, so you're going to be there a while. You're having trouble sorting through the chaos that is the giant-ass library. There's no Dewey Decimal System. There isn't even anybody really around to help you, so you'll be spending some time there. Let's move back to the group in the bedroom. So as he's doing all of that, the rest of you have to commit off to your first and second tasks. So who wants to go next? Don't all jump up at once.
I'm just trying to think what I want to do.
That's also what I'm trying to determine.
I don't know what I can do.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for what I can do.
You can hamster the cleric.
Yeah, I'm talking about right now, though.
For actions.
I mean, theoretically, you could wild shape and then try to scope out the town.
100%. They don't have to be skills.
The only problem with that is I can't fly as a wild shape yet, and it would take forever to do it on foot as an animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a squirrel definitely could go places you can't, though.
I mean, so could a giant spider, but I don't think that would turn out very well.
Right. Just thoughts. I'm just putting them out there. So it doesn't have to be a skill check. It can be an action. Like you can say, I'm going to go to this thing and, I don't know, arm wrestle every guy in there until I lose and, make each one of the losers tell me something. or use whatever your character's got going on. Like, Bitch Slap's not going to be like, I know how to plan a murder. You go up and you fucking kill him. She's like, what are we doing?
Right.
Just think inside your character's bounds of what they'd be open to doing. Obviously, still 5 of you are still sitting around the table discussing what you're about to do, and really it'd be before Aram would even leave to do what he did. But
is there, when you introduced us to the city on Fantasy Grounds and you had the map up, you kind of gave us a rundown of the different sections of the city. Was there like a rich, important people part of the city? I don't remember.
Yeah, the Emerald Enclave has the more expensive peoples.
So I think for me, I'm just gonna kind of go walk around that area, see if houses are labeled, see if I can kind of make an educated determination on if he lives there. That kind of, just kind of like scout out the area, scout out the neighborhood. If nothing else, to figure out the layout of the area, because if I can't figure out exactly which house it's his, more than likely he lives in that area. So having an idea of the layout, I think will be helpful.
All right, so layout of the Emerald Enclave.
Yeah, scout out that neighborhood there. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. So, what do you think you'll be able to use to do the scouting?
That's a good question.
Hi, Kelly.
What up?
Looking good, buddy. Looks like you got some
Thank you.
power, huh?
Yeah, well, I had to work on a gas issue.
Gotcha. If you follow the link in Facebook, you can pick up Lobolo off of the thing. I did make him in Beyond for you.
All right, I don't have Facebook on this. Can you send a link in chat?
Oh my god, bro.
You know how I roll. I make it hard for everybody.
I know. Yeah, I got you.
Spoken like a true bard.
But I get it.
It's a slow burner. It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Cute.
Just took me a sec to get my shit together. You
I gotta create a character, but go ahead, and keep going.
No, you don't have to create one. You just have to grab the one that's there. See where it says.
Oh.
See where it says Lobolo.
No.
She might already be.
It says he's unclaimed.
Oh.
Oh wait.
I think you have to click View Campaign first, and then the characters pop up.
Oh, DJ Beard made a new
Hold
character.
on. Nope, I found mine.
All right, so let's be clear. Jacob, you are going to go ahead and take Balar, and he's going to go to the Emerald City. Emerald Strand, which is the wealthier section of the town, which is BT Dubs, which is actually just west of the Temple District.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I'm just gonna do like a general surveillance. I'm not like looking through people's windows and backyards or testing security features or anything. I'm just like walking down the street, like just strolling, kind of, and taking it in as best I can. To that effect, I think it'll just be a general perception check.
Okay, so you're not doing anything special. You just want to do a general perception check around the area.
No, right now I'm just walking the neighborhood, getting the lay of the land, and if something sticks out to me, make a note of it and bring it to the table to discuss later.
Okay. So let's roll with it. Let's see what you got. 11, okay. I'd say that's not too bad. I mean, for your initial action, you've found the neighborhood, you're looking around. If you want to map it in your mind, I would say you'll want to do
So I think that's part of my druid features is I can actually remember maps and where I've been. I can recall that information without having to make any special.
What druid feature is that? Because I like it.
I don't remember. It's a vague me remembering that, so I will look it up and get back to you on that.
Okay.
I think it's a class feature, though. Let me...
And feel free anybody else to shoot anything out there. So Jacob is exploring.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I go to the nearest
Here we go.
Graveyard?
You're not going to discuss this with anybody. You're just going to
Right.
go do it, right? Because just like, I don't know if you heard the beginning when you went and you came back with hickeys on your neck and, like, information. Were you here for that earlier?
I heard part of it, but I was kind of, like I said, taking care of gas. So I've gotten only little parts here and there. So what I do is I go ahead and head over to the cemetery. And I look for a grave that's a person probably above the age of 20 to 30 years old, and that died recently, though, within the last year.
Do you have history as a skill?
Well, it should say it on the tombstone.
Right, it's just a decent sized graveyard. So, do you have history though?
I don't think I do. No.
You probably do. You have every other skill. You still can't grab your guy?
I got him. Hold on, let me see where skills are. So,
It
Cana,
is-
athletics, deception. Oh, I do have history, +2.
Yeah.
Woo
plus two.
woo. Do you want to roll it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please. Just click on the +2 and it should roll for you. Unless you have dice, you can roll dice too. I'm accepting both.
It says 3.
Nothing appeared for me here. Did anybody else see it roll up on the thing?
I did.
Oh, I see it. There it is. I don't know why it did. Usually they show up top. Okay, so you got a 3. So yeah, you're not super aware of this town. You spent a lot of your last little while doing what I had said earlier. But when you do go look, and you see a lot. I mean, there's easily 600 grave sites, and there aren't any that appear to be more fresh than others, and not even all of them are labeled well. Some just say names. Some just some say father of. But there's not even. It is a graveyard. It is not a great graveyard. It is small in comparison to the city, and it is just outside the city.
All right. Well, I guess I'll look around for the grave with the least amount of weeds on it.
Just perception or no, investigation actually would be best.
Okay, and that's skill.
Because you're doing a couple of things here, so I think investigation makes the tracks the most.
Hold on, let me just get rid of that number there. Okay, investigation. 22.
That's pretty good, right?
Yes. Come on.
So you go to fiddling around the graveyard just outside of town on the northwestern side of town, and you're digging around in there, and you're walking the graves, you're checking them out, you're looking. Finally, after 3 hours of wandering around this graveyard, trying to just find one that is fresher than others, you find 3 in a row, all fresh. None of them have ages per se, but they do have names.
All right. What one looks like? I'll pick the first one. Since they're all together.
Do you want the names, or do you
Sure.
care? Do you care? Like,
Go ahead. Tell me the names.
One has Elvish ancestry. You're sure of it, as it's. It reminds you of some other Elven words that you've heard, and perhaps this will ring true with you as well. It is Steve Anthelus. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just so we're on the same page. So Steve Anthelus is the Elven one. You're pretty sure. You're pretty sure it's a guy. There is a one that is human and probably female. It's Stephanie. I know. You guys are Jacob right now. Just,
Stephanie.
and the final one, you're not sure if it's a boy or girl or even what history they have, and it's
Right.
Stev, Stev.
Stev. All right. Hold on. Let me. Oh, don't do that.
While he's doing that, Dane, I found it. It's actually part of my Outlander background. Says you have excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you.
Hell yeah, the general layout is yours, my friend.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Elven one first.
Okay. And
And
it'll take you a while to dig these up. Then, so your first action was to come to the graveyard and find a new grave. The second part of your 2 actions for the first day is digging the grave up and like probably speaking to dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to dead. Do I need to touch the body? I thought it just has to be within 10 feet, and I have to know their name. Then.
I'm not saying that you have to touch the body. I don't know. I'm just saying you have to dig, but you have to dig it up. Like you can't talk to just the grave.
Okay.
I wouldn't think. I mean, I've always assumed that with talk to the dead, you have to have the dead present. You can't just speak and like because their grave's there, you hear the muffled.
Yeah, I gotta have a corpse, so I dig up the first corpse.
Cool. Are you doing it any particular type of way?
Like I'm supposed to be doing it. Oh, do you mean like with a shovel?
Yeah, both of those things are actually relevant. So I think they each matter. So you're doing it as if you belong. So deception. So roll that.
Okay. Skills. Wait, is that? Yeah, deception. Ooh. 24.
Okay, so you look quite in place as you do it. We'll assume that you maybe have like grave digger stuff on or something. I don't know, so to aid you, you look the part. And then secondly, let's do an athletics check to see how long it takes.
11.
Okay, it's gonna take the rest of your time.
All right.
Digging a 6-foot hole but with a shovel, not a great easy task. I've done it before personally in real life, and it is not quick or fast.
Right.
It sucks 100%. Okay.
Oh, I never mind.
Oh, I feel like it was going to be good. I feel like it was
Me too.
There was hesitation there. I feel like we were in trouble. I feel like I was getting called to the principal's office.
I was trying to figure out why you would dig graves, and I remembered your profession. You work in a mortuary, and I was thinking that you kill people.
Oh,
I was like,
no, I never dug graves for the cemetery when I worked there, though.
Okay.
Worry about that some other time. No, I was digging a hole. I was a kid. We dug a hole. I don't know. There was no Nintendo until I was like older. So like we dug holes, climbed trees, swam, threw rocks at passing cars. Bad kid stuff. I didn't actually throw rocks at passing cars. I knew better. Okay, so Lobolo is digging a hole and hopefully finding a body to speak with. And who did you decide on?
Oh,
Steve Anthilis?
Yes.
All right. Digging. Okay. And Jacob is memorizing. Are you going to try and walk the whole city today? You could probably do it in the day, especially if you got like a carriage or something else. You could map most of the city if you got a carriage. We paid for that, or even drafted a horse for the day.
Yeah, I mean, in my mindset, him being a big public image, he's probably going to live in one of the more expensive parts of town.
So you're only worried about mapping out that area?
I mean, I'd do a general walkthrough of the city, but I really want to focus on the rich area and where the festival's taking place.
Okay, so general walkthrough.
Kind of start there and work out once I've got that good and covered.
Okay. And did I mention? Do you guys remember? Did I mention where the festival's taking place?
I don't think you did. You just said it was going on.
Harvest Festival. Let me look.
You said it was right next to the Emerald whatchamajigger.
Emerald Strand, between the Emerald Strand and the Imperium.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be along the western road that goes north and south, like basically the Emerald Strand Road is what it would be on then. Okay, that sounds good. Because then, so what you would get to know then is the Emerald Strand itself, and then you probably would get to know the Imperium, which is next to the Killick Fair. So those are all real right there. The Killick Fair was the better shopping places that are more buildings and like permanent establishments versus the Chivalry, which is above that. No, I'm sorry, the Hatchway Bazaar was the one that had the open market stuff, but the chivalry was like the fortune tellers and like mystics and strange travelers. So really, yeah, Emerald Strand. I don't know. I'm trying to think how much of the city you actually could see by day. You can definitely get, if you're just on foot.
But we're talking just a half a day because this is just one action.
Okay.
So
yeah, you could get in a half a day. You could map out the Emerald Strand itself along the main road, and then along the road that leads to the Majesty Hill.
So basically, the fairgrounds and Emerald Strand. That's about what I got.
You get the Emerald Strand, and then the road that like the fair would go on, or it's not a fair; it's a festival. It's like the Mardi Gras on that street, basically.
Gotcha.
So you'd be able to map out Mardi Gras Street, and you'd see the different vendors and different things getting set up. You know, like because people are already arriving because it's tomorrow, and they're setting up. They're like lean-to over on the side shops. There's people in different entertainer outfits like to juggle and fire eat and stuff like that. It's huge. There's people like getting costumes ready all across the city, and people dress up like it's like Halloween in Baton Rouge and Mardi Gras time.
All right.
But there's a couple. I guess there is a couple more things you could learn from Summerside there, though, too.
So, thought I just had. Well, no, if everybody's setting up, I don't think that would work.
Here, I think this might help you guys. I'm just gonna. I don't know how this is gonna look on stream, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, guess we'll find out. So the Emerald Strand is right there in the middle.
And that's where the festival is, right? Or no, that's the city.
Oh yeah, the map doesn't even show up on here. I'll have to figure out what that is and fix it later. What's that? The what now?
Okay, so the Emerald Strand is the housing section.
That's like the neighborhood where these big houses, all these like large estates are.
Okay, and then the festival is.
The festival is along this blue road here, going essentially almost north to south.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna unshare because it's messing up everything. But I'll figure out how. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna figure out how to share on stream too, and have that what I'm sharing show up on stream. So when we're going through stuff and I'm talking about things, I can still share maps and stuff that way. I just have to do it while I'm in Zoom and figure out what that is, unless there's another way that we need to share it for me to capture that inside OBS. All right, cool. So so it's a mostly north to south road, but it tends to lean a little west, so it's north to northwest. I'm sorry, going southwest. Could be going down, so from north to southwest on the blue road, the Emerald Road. And then that there too. And the Loggerhead, I'm not sure what that's even supposed to be, honestly. I forget. Evan put that shit in there. I don't remember what it is. So let's assume it doesn't exist yet. Because this map's also got some stuff from the future on it that maybe doesn't matter right now. Like Loggerhead. Cool, so that's your first action. Bitch Slap, any thoughts? Zenevieve, Sylvia, you guys fight to the death?
Is there like a town hall or something where like the political figures meet or whatever that...
No, not
Okay.
particularly. They don't have any government funded buildings like that. They meet in grand halls of given authorities. So like the different council members each have their own homes that have decent sized estates. They can choose one, but most of the time the prime council will meet at the prime's residence, and that typically ends up being a place. The different clergy handles a lot of the public outreach. So like if people have concerns or anything like that, they're given ordained faiths handle a lot of the communication between the church and state, like to the people. But a good question.
And there is a temple district, you said?
There is a temple district. When I popped the map up briefly, it was to the northeast of where the Imperium is, or where the Emerald Strand is. So it's just on the top of a hill. There's a few different temples there, and I believe it's Copus, Bombara, and Parego. So there's like the main healing temple, the harvest temple, and I can't remember what one of these is. Bombara. Yeah, it's like nature temple, it's nature, harvest, and heal, and like the god of healing, and the god of the sea. That's what the three are basically. Nature. Yep. Copus is nature. Bombara is the sea, and Parego is like the god of healing. That's on Majesty Hill.
Okay. Final question.
Final. Oof.
In this regard, you gotta qualify it. Is there like an adventurers guild or a mercenaries guild or somewhere where like people for hire would be?
So in the future there is.
Damn.
In the current, it happens mostly through the different taverns.
Okay.
Wait, are you gonna peace out and find a new job on us?
No, I was going to see if I could investigate into the guards that are hired to scope anything out from that.
So there are, like I said earlier, if you guys didn't know, I'll say it again. The 6 guards guarding the prime counselor, Balifax. Those 6 guards are private security. There are also city guards, in which Cheyenne may or may not still know a few. Has not come across anybody that stood out to her so far. And the city guards are going to be monitoring the Mardi Gras type activities. They're not going to just be, doing nothing.
Out of curiosity, what is the general punishment for failing an assassination?
They'll kill her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I may be rolling a new character next week.
Like on the spot, or is there a trial first?
I mean,
try again. We're talking about like a guild, a thieves guild.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill her right away. They're going to come after her.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they'll probably kill her, but they'll at least.
Well,
it'll be a
no.
negative
Here's
reaction.
the thing. It's a matter of, do I get killed by the cleric and his guards, or do I fail, get away, and then the client comes after me?
Right.
Yeah, so there's a few options there.
For my death.
Well, no. I mean,
how do you prefer to die?
You have friends. You guys have come together, ladies of the night, ready to make your decisions. To discuss and how can we pull this job off to help Zenevieve not become murdered. Zenevieve, there are 2 other people you could try and attempt to murder between now and then. Those could count for both your day's actions. You don't need help with You don't need help with those murders. And I think someone discussed that if we killed a lot of people in town, it wouldn't be suspicious if the cleric ended up dead as well. So maybe going around and murdering a bunch for a day or 2 actually is beneficial to your guys' overall cover story.
Is this a genuine suggestion?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're an assassin.
Sounds
There's still
genuine
2
to me.
other contracts.
True.
I think, didn't she try and pick up all the contracts?
She just went for the.
No, I don't
She
know.
got like a general of the 3, and then we picked one of them.
Gotcha.
It's okay. I mean, there are 2 other contracts still out there, and they were for way less gold, but like.
But if I do it by myself, I get to keep it.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it may be only. I think it was a total of 500 gold or something. I don't remember. I have to watch back between the 2 contracts, which would be just some skill checks for both different days. Like, guys, I'm gonna go do some research on this. And then you're just bust off and go kill a guy, and then come back like didn't learn much, but let's do it.
Or question them before you kill them. What do you know about the cleric? I'll kill you if you don't tell
He's
me.
a cleric. I don't know him. We're totally
Okay.
in a murder contract. You know, like he's not only got one murder contract client. Oh.
It's information and gold.
I don't know. I'm just giving you ideas because you were like, I don't know what to do. Sylvia, I think your ideas for Cheyenne, I think your ideas for Sylvia to go and talk to the guards that you do know isn't ill placed. I think it actually could be a good path for you to take. Even though you don't have necessarily viable, like great memories, you might know them. You might see somebody you don't know who. It's been some time since you've been in the guard and been here, so you're not sure. What your knowledge of them or what they'll say to you or what you'll notice changed in schedules of the guards. You might want to, revamp your current, as a fighter that was on the guard, you might want to relook at like the guard schedule of the town, like how far away they are. Because there's a lot of timing involved, especially if you guys are trying to like swoop in, dupe in, and get out. It's not going to just be mass killing, Right
Well, I
away.
was thinking about that. Could I possibly just kind of walk around the city and scope out like where guards are positioned normally and like look at the front gate and stuff and
Yeah.
see like when they trade off on.
Yeah, he's mapping the town, and it would make sense you could map the guards while he's mapping the town. You guys could even travel together for that first action. And just kind of figure out your guys' route together. Jacob and Cheyenne, you Balar, and Sylvia could do that together, so that is done as both of your first actions. One,
Yeah, like I map out the topography and she maps out like the guards.
the scheduling, like how fast they come by,
The routes, yeah.
marks them, things like that.
Whenever they
So,
switch.
exactly.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay, so Steven.
Yeah.
All right, so then we'll need some rolls from you. Let's see, we've got I'd say investigation, perception. What do you have? What do you have? Do you like better?
Let's do you said investigation and what?
Perception.
Perception. We're gonna do perception. And that's gonna be a dirty 20. Would you like to see?
No, you're cool. I was just busting your chops the last time.
No, I know.
Okay, so dirty 20 on your. Which one was it that you do?
Perception.
Perception. Okay, that's pretty good. You get a pretty fair understanding. The guard routines haven't changed. They come in every 15 minutes or so. You'll have, depending on the hour, you'll have 2 or 4 guard units come by. So they have 2 different sets of units, 2 and 4 guard units. On the high end of the hour, so like they'll have 4 because they're bringing 2 new ones in. So they rotate 2 new guards in with like old guard. They walk a full lot together, discuss the day, and then at the end of that rotation, it becomes 2 again. And they're about 15-minute citywide or city block rotations. So each block has a rotation 4 times per hour.
Are those rotations simultaneous?
Pretty much. I mean, you have two guards basically walk every section of the city, and most city blocks is about 15 minutes. It's not, the timing isn't perfect, but it's about 15 minutes unless they get stopped or something comes up. But if they were to just have an uneventful walk where they kept an eye on things and generally just continued forward, it takes them about 15 minutes per like blocked off area in the city.
Are there any, like, while they're moving, is there any specific areas that are, like, left without a guard for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, anything behind them doesn't have a guard, and anything ahead of them doesn't have a guard until they get there. Or until they can notice, or you make too much noise, or something like that, But just as far as patrols go, I mean, you're looking at 15-minute windows. And then the last window, because there's 4 15-minute windows in an hour, right? In which they're basically moving. On the last 15th minute window, there's 4 guards in each one because they'll switch out, and that's only at the end of a shift for the switch out.
Okay.
So most of the time it's just 2 guards you're going to deal with. The issue you'll be able to tell them though isn't the 2 guards. I mean, it is if they get an alarm off. This is the only reason they'll really worry about them. Obviously, you guys can handle 2 guards, but if they get an alarm off, it's not that far away for 2 more guards and 2 more guards and 2 more guards, as there's quite a few guards overall and reserves, and they have magic users too. Some.
But realistically, if they did like set off an alarm, we would have a 15-minute window until they get us. The other guards would catch up to us.
No, because that's just them patrolling. That's not them coming full force or trying to hurry to an alarmed area.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That works. It makes sense.
That being said, I mean, a 15-minute walk around is a pretty big section of space. Like if I'm going to walk 15 minutes, I mean, that's a block or 2 in a neighborhood, right? Like, I mean, that's not, you're not 5 feet from somebody if they walk. You give them 5 minutes to walk forward. They're 5 minutes walking away at a steady pace. You're 5 minutes behind. You got essentially 10 minutes before they're on you. 10 minutes in game can be long if it's a combat situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's every action, every like time you have a turn in combat is only 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, an entire turn for you guys is 36 seconds. So you'll have, what is that, 20 turns before the next set of guards will be there at a normal patrol, or till something. Say you're in doing something with somebody and they're 5 minutes away and they walked around 10 minutes. That 10-minute walk around, even if they did double time, we cut it in half. It's only 5 minutes in half, right?
That's 10 full rounds.
Yeah, so decent amount of rounds.
Yeah, but they got to have a reason for running double time. So.
Exactly. So, I mean,
if they're going standard stroll on a 15-minute rotation, it would take 30 rounds for them to get through that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, basically at 36 seconds because there's 6 of you. But, I mean, I guess technically, though, all 6 of you go in the same 6 seconds, so whatever. Now we're talking Dungeons & Dragons timing and stuff, so we'll continue forward with the murder plot.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But you are able to map out that as your first action. So who's got stuff left? It sounds like Kelly's digging up graves as his second action, really, because first action was getting to the graveyard, so I'd say that could be your first action. Graveyard and digging up is to take all day. Cal, you have 2 left. Kate,
I think I know what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to use my disguise kit so people can't recognize me later.
Okay.
And then I'm going from tavern to tavern to gather information, if I can.
Hell yeah. So tell me about this disguise.
She looks very ordinary, nothing out of usual, just a very ordinary half-elf that doesn't look like Xenavie as much as possible.
All right. I mean, deception, right?
Yes.
Dye the hair and...
Yeah, she bleaches it all blonde. No, it's frosted tips, actually. That's what it is. That's the one unordinary thing.
Where's a pair of sunglasses, frosted tips, and puts cups on her ears?
Yes, that's exactly
I knew it.
what happens.
All right, so what do you got for us?
21.
Whoa, that's pretty good. How many bars are you going to?
How many can I do
In your action? Let's say 3. That's a good question.
3.
Let's say 3. Yeah.
Let's start with 3.
All right. Well, 3 for full action.
Nobody saw it, so I'm going to point it out. I helped you out, Xenavie.
What's that?
I drew a mustache on my finger.
Oh, that's awesome. Gotta have that. All right, yeah, perfect. So, let's say bar 1, 2, and 3. Each place, I'll let you ask questions of one person in there. Can you come up with 3 questions and I'll come back to you? Or do you have
Yes.
Or do you have 3
Yes.
questions already?
Yes, let me come up with 3 questions.
All right, so get me three questions for bar patrons. They're all gonna just be people who live here. So like we're
Okay.
talking either fishermen, loggers, farmers, traders, maybe that live in town, things like that.
Okay.
It could also be I'll even let you pick the 3 types of people you talk to and potentially come up with one for each of those for you.
Okay.
So you could be like, I want to talk to an urgent child or an elder beggar. I want to talk to the drunk at the bar who's hammered right now, or who's a fisherman.
Okay.
Who is a fisherman? Feel free to come up with who you want to actually talk to at each bar, and I'll end the question. Katie, help me out. I need you. Got to do something. So we got to hear.
Oh
from
yeah.
You. What do you got?
So I'm the last one sitting at the table, right?
Yeah, basically.
Everybody left me without giving me instructions, right?
Perfect. I'm for that.
That's what happened. All right. So since I'm such a smart, half orc barbarian, I don't know. I don't really know what to do other than maybe go find some blue collar folks and see if I can like pick up a equivalent game of basketball or something. Is there any sports do in this town?
Yeah, I mean the only thing you could probably think of is you guys did walk past what is looking to be eventually be an arena of sorts for combat. Maybe somebody there would know something about something similar along the line, athletic wise, that you could potentially go get into. So you want to head over there?
Yeah.
All right, you get over there. It's definitely under construction. You see, there's actually just humans working, building this like kind of. If you were a dwarf, you'd be like, "This is a cheap construction build here," but kind of a cheap construction build. They're just putting together this arena, and it's 3/4 done. It should be done soon. There is a head guy there. He appears to be a kind of bulky, older human guy. You want to head up to him?
Sure.
All right. He when you get up to him, he like stops what he's doing when you kind of like, I don't know if you tap his shoulder or whatever you do.
Mm-hmm.
When you tap his shoulder, he like turns back like kind of gruffly at first, and then he goes and like looks up. He's a bigger dude, but he like looks up at you because you got him by like 3 or 4 inches, and he says, "Oh, hi. What do you need? We're under construction here."
I'm new in town and I've got some downtime, and I was wondering if there's anything fun to do around here, competition wise.
Yeah.
Breeze.
Roll a persuasion check. Or intimidation, or I'd be down for intimidation, insight, or persuasion.
I guess we're gonna do intimidation because.
Hell yeah!
I want to know now.
Oh no! It froze. I'm not very intimidating. I think that's a 6.
I rolled a 2. So you intimidate him, but like, which means he's kind of like, he's definitely off put. Like, first of all, he's looking up at you and you're like, "Where can I find something fun to do?" And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, what do you, fun like what? Like, what do you want to do?"
Do you want to gut me?
I'm just trying to build the arena, man.
I'm working on the arena. I'm sure you can come back in like a month, and it'll be up. Do you want to help make it built faster? I mean, feel free to compete to lay down the floor. Those guys are starting. First one done wins. Is that helpful? I don't know. I mean, that would help get the arena up.
Is there any practice dummies?
You know what? I don't handle much with the arena besides construction. If you're looking for somebody to fight, as a sport, I can help. I don't know. I just work here.
All right.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I guess I'll go help those guys.
Hell yeah! Half work constructed. Rib tickler. I'm for it. So let's just do athletics. With
That we can
advantage,
do.
right?
Well, I'd say, because I'm being nice and helpful.
No, because you're raging so mad about it. I've got all my Steves mixed up. I'm not sure which one we're talking to next.
Oh man.
Weren't you the one who said,
Failing.
"Don't make it too many Steves"?
Yeah, probably. That tracks with who I am.
Was that with advantage, Katie? Or did you
No.
just roll it once?
I just rolled.
Hell yeah.
I can't see what it is.
Well, I only see one.
I think it's 11 total without advantage.
Oh no, do advantage.
Ow.
Just
roll
roll
it
it again.
Oh.
You
okay.
can right click on it to do it though.
Might just have to start rolling real dice.
Go for it.
Same thing. Exactly.
Another 11?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you get over there. It's awkward for you. It's not cracking skulls and ripping up plants, chasing wolves. It's fitting a board in place and pounding it, and then straightening it out. You get yelled at a couple times quietly. Not real yelled at, but like, oh wait, do it like this, please. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Is it the foreman person yelling at me, or the workers?
You don't see him the rest of the day.
Okay.
He went home to go pee.
All right. Well. How many guys am I working with?
2 other human guys who are not coming super close to you, but they do come close enough to direct you if you do something. They're like, actually, could you put them over here? Help carry these over here. Like you end up being a grunt, not knowing what you're doing. The most you end up just carrying stuff and placing boards for them to align and finish. But with the extra addition of your help, they are moving along faster than they would have.
Fantastic. So
action 1. That's your first half of the day. Do you want to keep doing it all day?
I mean, I'm trying to make small talk with them.
Okay.
While we're working.
Sure.
Just asking them like, guys been here? You lived here? Whole lives? Hired in?
Our uncle you just talked to earlier, I don't know where he went. He's from here. We just got here from the Prowling Jungle. We have homes there.
Where's that?
I think it's that way, and he like points off that way.
I'm from that way.
Oh, right on. What? You don't have much experience building houses?
No.
Or anything, or laying floor?
No.
What
I was raised by wolves. I've got some time. I'm visiting the city, trying to get some new experience in, and all my friends went and left me with nothing to do.
All right, well, lay that one here, and they continue building up stuff with you. They'll small talk with you. They don't know much about the city. They've been here basically as long as the arena's been needing to be built. They were brought in by their uncle because he got the bid for the arena's build. So he had them come in for essentially the end of the year to help him, and they wanted to be here for the festival too. So it's kind of like win-win for them to come visit during this time. And
any hot gossip they have to share with me?
They've been out to the bars a bit. Their uncle won't let them go to the Red Sox. They're kind of mad about it. Like I really, really wanted to go. I heard it was really cool. Like they're pretty young. They're younger still. But they have been to some of the bars, and there's been a rash of murders apparently throughout the city as of kind of recently. So there's that, but they're not sure. It's weird though because they say the people just are missing. Like they're not necessarily dead, but people just get the overwhelming feeling that they're just dead. So even though they're just missing, everyone's saying they're dead. No bodies have been found. Just charred, black, kind of gooey substance.
What do they think? What do they think about it?
The boys? They're beats a leopard. I tell you, leopards are dangerous. And so are bears. And there's even other worse stuff in the woods. And Prowling Jungle is full of stuff.
I hate cats myself.
Oh. All right, so they continue talking. Cheyenne was talking. What else we got? Mike, what do you got your day done? Where are we at? Somebody mix it up. Anybody?
No. Did I find any information?
No. I'm just kidding. All right, so how many, has everybody done one action? Who hasn't done their second? Let's do that real quick. Help me out. Katie's done one, basically. Cal's
I think
done
we've all done one.
Cheyenne did one. Jacob did one. Labolo, you did one. Mike, everybody did one, right? So I guess we're back to Mike. So I just wanted to make sure I checked all the boxes off. So Mike, you get done at the Nomenclature Institute with your first day's part of looking into just history of who's been here, what, when, and why, right?
Yeah.
The town has been around for some time. The cleric has been here, like I said, for about 20 years. He came to serve his... Oh. Hang on, Mike's got to deal with his dad.
Move on to somebody else for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cal, you talk to those three people. Do you have that? Are you ready for that?
Out of character, I am struggling with wording questions.
Okay.
Sorry, move on to the next one. I'll come back to me. Something just came up.
Yep, that's all right, Mike. We saw. That's fine. I'm okay with the team helping you come up with the questions you want to ask. So if you guys have 3 questions, do you have the people you're thinking you'd like to talk to?
Any mercenary or adventurer type looking folk, I'd want to talk to one of them.
Okay.
I definitely want to talk to a drunk. I feel like that would get some very sober thoughts coming out that shouldn't be.
Okay.
And then
What about like a wizened, hawk-eyed granny?
yes, I think a wise and hawk-eyed granny would be immaculate.
One who looks
Bartender.
angry, though.
Okay,
because if
so
she's
hang on.
Yes,
at
angry.
anything and she's old, she's just going to rat on everything.
So we've got an
That's when it
adventurer
gets real.
and a drunk and a granny.
Yes.
Those are like the general requirements you're looking for. So all right, so let's do them.
I mean, it gives you a good spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Let's fuck with it. So let's start with the mercenary. Yeah. What question should she ask the mercenary or adventurer?
Well, which is it, mercenary or adventurer?
Oh, that's what she's gonna find. I mean, they're kind of similar.
But there's a difference.
There is, but they're kind of similar. So I mean, she's not gonna know like that guy's definitely a mercenary versus just an adventurer by
No
looking
name
at him.
tags.
The
Outside of
name
the
tags.
institute. Yeah.
Just
That's how we used to
slapped
do it.
on there.
Fuck it. All right, it says mercenary. So you want a mercenary or an adventurer?
Just kidding.
I love it.
I think mercenary would probably do better.
Okay. So somebody who looks to be a mercenary, and it's not uncommon for a mercenary to have like a unit badge or something. So I mean, name tag aside, there would be maybe some insignia that you would be able to recognize. Maybe they're a mercenary or a private guard or something. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have a question for them?
I mean, I think... Okay, so real quick, before I go down the way my brain's thinking, I want to clarify. In my mind, a mercenary is somebody who gets hired by an army or a kingdom, whereas an adventurer, in general, gets hired by whoever's got enough coin and needs the job done.
Sure.
Am I accurate in that thinking?
Sure. Which is why I said they'd have some insignia on a mercenary, potentially.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to clarify between mercenary and adventurer, because I feel like a mercenary would be in the city for a reason. With the festival, there's a chance they might have gotten hired as extra security for said festival. So, I mean, through casual conversation, if you could get to some kind of point of what they're doing here and then show interest if they are hired to work the festival and try and get some details about security for the festival, I don't feel like that would be a bad course of conversation with them. I don't know, that's my first thought.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I like that route.
All right, so what are you doing here? is the gist, right?
Um,
That's like the line of questionings you're going to go along for. What are you doing here?
I mean, you dyed your hair blonde. Just give me the old, what are you doing here?
You
yeah.
go
she
way too
she
late.
goes like full Southern like.
Oh gosh, she's from Warzamp. No.
She's from Georgia.
Oh. Got it. All right. Well, so I mean, it's either performance, deception.
Deception ain't hurting me yet, so.
I mean, it makes sense. You're in disguise and you're acting away. So, yeah.
Excellent. 28.
That's pretty healthy. So you decept him pretty well. And then persuasion, I think, is in play too. Let's do both. I want to see that one as well.
22.
What is it?
22.
That's actually pretty good, right? 22 is not bad at all. We'll take one of those. So him and a group of other men had been hired by one of the lords in a nearby fiefdom, and the lord is visiting for the festival.
Okay.
They're hired, and there's a number of them. He does not disclose the number of them, but he kind of drunkenly, not quite drunkenly, but drunkenly a little bit, leads on to that there's quite a few of them in town for the festival. And then insight.
Insight. I don't have as good of a modifier at 6.
Okay. You know everything you're going to know.
Okay.
Right, and now you want to do the drunk or the granny?
Let's do the drunk.
All right, what are we asking the drunk?
I think I actually have a question.
Yes.
And it might be the same one I have for the granny, but I want to know his opinions on the political climate right now.
Let me tell you something. And he's like, I don't normally say a lot of things about politics, but I will say that the taxes on the fish coming in from the sea should not be that high. And it wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the church not paying any taxes for all the tithes they get. And he starts going on about the church, and he like goes into a tirade, but basically saying that the money's going the wrong places. You know, he says that the people who have the money aren't giving any to the places that are asking for it, and the places that are asking for it aren't doing anything to help for what they're taking the money for. Does that all track?
Okay.
So essentially, the people who he goes on. I mean, he trades on for a while. The church isn't paying any taxes, and he's pissed because they tend to get a bunch of tithing and are supposed to be helping, but a lot of them aren't helping, even though they're being tithed to. And also, the establishment itself isn't using any of the tax money to help either. So the church isn't helping with the tithing, and the taxes aren't helping with them either. So he's just mad at both of them in general.
Would I know what church he's talking about, or is it the religious district in general?
The religious district in general has a kind of an overseer that makes sure that the alignments of the churches align with and don't bicker or have any fallouts. So it's kind of a bureaucratic role, but it exists.
Okay.
And then he starts getting off on a tirade about that fucking guy. He's like, that fucking guy, you don't know how to manage a church to fucking sort the lot of them. And he's not even making any sense at this point. But it comes up that fucking guy is Balifax.
Okay.
So the prime counselor is the religious sector essential bureaucrat over the different ones. Now Lathander is not represented even in the churches here, but he is the overseer essentially of the district.
Okay.
And then the final one, a granny. Find a granny. Not necessarily in a bar. maybe in the market, right? Get a granny in the market. So
As I'm leaving the bar, one's just passing by.
yeah, he's
trying to
happen
get
to
home.
catch a granny by the elbow. Excuse me, Gran. What do you ask Granny that you just met in the market street?
Does anybody have any suggestions for asking Granny?
She's got to know something. I mean, she knows.
Oh, she's gotta.
If nothing else, get a recipe.
Where does the cleric live?
Oh, do you happen to know the directions to where I can meet with the bureaucrat of the church? I have some questions about the religious rights of the city.
Oh, the Prime Counselor Balifax.
Yes, that's his name.
Do you want to reach him? Where?
I don't know. Does he have an office? Does he have a residence where he takes visitors?
I don't know about his office. I've never been one for the church. And she kind of nods, kind of disdainfully down her nose at you, like as if all your multi-religions with the church are just bad. She's like, I just never could get into that kind of sort of thing. But I think he lives over in the Emerald Strand. Oh, probably like the third or fourth mansion. I'm not sure which one, to be honest. But it's the third or fourth mansion on the left when you come off of what will in the future be the Dagger Board.
Third or fourth mansion off the what will eventually be the Dagger Board.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for Thank you so much for your help and directions, Granny.
Of course, dearie. She gives you a pear and steps away, for you to eat. Or do you prefer a banana or some blueberries? She did get some bread or cheese. Do you want to stop for tea, dearie? Are you new here in the city? Granny's a friendly sort. You picked a good one.
Granny's taking care of me. I accept the pear, thankfully.
Just the pear and leave?
Just the pear and leave.
Are you sure Granny would love some company?
Maybe another time. I have friends meeting with me. They also want to meet with
Oh, bring them all, dear. Bring them all. I'd love for a tea party. How many total?
I want to go see Granny. There's 6 of us.
Oh, perfect. Let me know next time you're around town. I have the vendor right there, and she points to a cheese vendor down the street.
Wonderful. I would love to catch up with you.
Granny the cheese vendor. Got it. All right, cool. Cal's taking care of. Who wants to go next?
I'll come back to mine, get mine finished up.
Okay.
All right, so I got in and I was digging through the library and books to try and dig up any information on the cleric.
Okay.
Bellatrix, apparently.
Balifax, yeah.
Bellafax, yeah.
What kind of information are you looking for? Help me out.
Any like stories of what he's done, any training that he's done. I'm trying to get information on what he's capable of doing.
Okay. So, let me see. Sorry, hang on. He has always been a political member of the church more so than a religious member, even though he does practice and have access to spells. He's not known to use them often in public. He tends to carry potions on him, you learn. There's like a weird scathing article about it, and there's actually like a newspaper you come across essentially for the town that one of the nomenclature institute student groups had put together at one point.
Okay.
It's no longer in circulation, but a couple old copies are still there that had circulated through the nomenclature. The nomenclature institute doesn't typically doesn't always allow all things to go out to the public, but if they come into the Nomenclature Institute and go to the library, they can look at stuff while there. So they don't
Okay.
necessarily spread the newspapers out to town as a rule or anything like that when they're active, but there are, like I said, copies of it here, and there's one talking about how he's always got potions on him. There's one even talking about not trusting him for something, like it's like a bit of a scandal that came up, but the paper only had like 6-7 copies that you find over the course of time, and then they just abruptly stopped.
Okay, so essentially he just carries a lot of potions and whatever
Doesn't cast
abilities.
magic or do any healing or anything like that. Like a lot of the other clerics would heal, so he's been brought under ill attention of this Nomenclature Institute, student newspaper that they collaborated on. But they, that he basically talking shit on different things going on in town, and that is one of them. Is that this guy is kind of a weirdo. He doesn't seem to be, using his Lathandran cleric duties to do any clericing. He's not healing the sick or, do anything like that. He does carry a lot of potions on him for some reason or another. He has been seen to cast some stuff, but it's not.
So he claims to be a cleric. Right, but he's shown no signs of actually being one.
Maybe. I mean, that's
is essentially what these reports are showing.
You could definitely draw that conclusion if you wanted to.
Okay. Well, that doesn't help, but it's information, I guess.
It helps.
Yeah.
With your peace of mind, right?
Yeah. I mean, for future reference, I now know how to get in here.
It totally helps.
Who do you have to talk to get in here?
The guard.
The guard?
At the gate.
Oh, I thought you made a new friend. That's fine.
Oh, Steffi.
Yeah.
Oh, Steffi.
That's all right. All right, so Mike, you got your information.
Yep.
Cal got yours. Cheyenne, Jacob, Bear.
Go ahead.
I'm already in the area of let's back up. The Emerald Strand.
Yeah.
So I kind of think
you and Cheyenne are both there. You and Sylvia.
Yeah. So for me, at least, I think spending the afternoon there and kind of waiting to see if Balfax comes home, is home, if I can see a guard rotation, because they're private guards, so they're going to look different from the city guards.
These guards on the street are not, but his guards are private.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so
that's what I'm saying.
You want to see that guard?
Like,
okay.
They're going to look different. So, if I can see the guard rotation or see him come home or leave or anything like that, then I can determine exactly which house is his.
Right.
And maybe get a little more detail for my neighborhood map, maybe plot out some infill, exfil routes. Nothing, I don't want to do anything that may raise suspicion, but get a little more detail of that neighborhood while also keeping an eye on anything that may help me narrow down exactly which house is his.
Okay. Figure out which house is his by seeing if you see the guard influence. Okay. So let's. How are you? Are you as yourself?
What do you mean?
Are you just as a human right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Deception maybe for just kind of been chilling around the same area for a long time. There'll be 4 rotations of the guard, so yeah.
They're gonna notice you sitting there staring at everything.
Kind of just being around, awkwardly for a while. I mean, obviously they might not matter. It might not matter, but let's just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just sitting in one place. I'm just keeping it casual and strolling, just being observant while I do so.
No, I know, but for a pretty long period of time, you'll be in the same area. So just a deception check. What else could I use? I mean, deception would definitely be my first choice, but what else?
stealth, maybe? Yeah.
No, because I'm not being sneaky.
Yeah, he's not trying to be sneaky. He's just
Yeah.
Just trying to fit in. So yeah, I think deception.
I guess. I mean, performance.
Yeah,
It's
performance.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but
I mean, they're both good. I got the same for both of them. So.
you're acting like you're just a normal.
Performance would probably fit better than deception.
okay.
So,
Whatever you like.
5.
Hell yeah. It's pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, great. All day. Let's go.
So you rolled a 5 for your, what was it, performance?
Yeah.
Do you want to use your inspiration?
Fuck yes, I do.
Okay.
Nine.
9 is better than 5.
That's a lot better than 5 in my book.
Anybody else want to give up their inspiration for my boy Jacob?
You know, I've been holding on to mine for like 3 weeks. Yeah.
You gonna toss it out there?
Yep.
All right, he's gonna give you another chance.
15.
How about a 19?
19.
Ooh.
That's a lot better. All right.
Appreciate it, Mike.
You sneak pretty well. And are you? How late are you staying?
I don't know, a little bit after supper time.
Okay.
Right around supper. Yeah, right around supper time, and then head back to meet up with everybody and trade notes. So.
You don't see him enter or exit the building.
No guard movements. No. Did I get any more information about the neighborhood?
I mean, it's a pretty standard neighborhood for around these parts. It's pretty packed though, because normally it's just a traveling street, not necessarily a market street. But with the festival coming up, it's a lot more busy, which is why really the 19 killed it, because you had bonuses for the neighborhood being all crazy right now. The 9 probably was gonna be enough, but I got Mike to use his too, so that's awesome. No, I mean, there's not really much else to know. I mean, because he didn't leave his. You're pretty sure he didn't leave either of the 2 domiciles in which she's in question, but you don't know which domiciles she heard. Like, you don't know what you know which 2 she knew, but you don't see him. I mean, you're not even sure really what the guy looks like.
Fair enough. All
But
right.
you don't see a guy that looks that part. And you could give me a perception though too, just to be fair, if in case you notice there could be.
9.
No, yeah, no, you're not gonna even. There's too much going on.
Okay.
Fight, Cheyenne. I need to hear from you. What you got?
The only thing I can really think of, I can only. I was thinking about possibly like walking back to the tavern that we're staying at and just trying to look for any guards that I recognize, or maybe even people I used to recognize like as a kid, possible local grifters also.
Okay.
Who would know my family.
Say you were to find one or the other, what would be your intent? Like, what would you be looking to find out?
If I was talking to a guard, it would be like asking them about the cleric a little bit, or asking them how their guard duty's going, what's new in the town, what the cleric's been up to, just try to sneak that in there somehow. Because I'm kind of curious as to why he's being assassinated. I'm wondering if there was like something that happened.
Okay. Let's start with perception. Because we'll say you go to a local bar, one of the local spots.
Okay.
You could even be sitting at the original one, back at the regular one, trying to figure out what to do. You're sitting there.
I got a 10.
You got a 10? Hell yeah, you're doing great. I mean, Ironclad is a nice inn. Like, I don't know what to do, right? Like, how do we recon this? But you're sitting there. I mean, there's definitely a couple guys from the guard that pop by there, but it's early in the afternoon. Right when you came back to grab lunch before you figure out what your next step was going to be, you see right at the same time 2 guards that work in town have the normal guard, gear on or whatnot, come in and get lunch. And they're sitting at the bar, or not at the bar, but in the bar at a table, and they're having lunch. You don't recognize the one, but the other one looks familiar, but you can't remember his name.
Going up to him.
Fuck yeah. Embrace it, right?
Confidence. I want to go up to them and I want to be like, man, just seeing those uniforms makes me reminisce on my days working with you guys. I missed it a lot. You guys were really awesome. Just like laying it on thick.
Oh, you ever have to work one of these damn festivals? Says the one that doesn't look familiar.
Yeah, I had to work a festival not exactly like this, but kind of like this. Not really my cup of tea. I'd much more, celebrate the festival, just nudge them a little.
Oh, I like that. How's your let's do persuasion.
Okay.
I'm sure you're good at it.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's a 12.
On all together, 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. It's above average, right? You're a little awkward at it. I mean, you are an archer and you're a former guard coming up to 2 random dudes, but you do have the benefit of having horns and being a woman. So, like a 12 against a pair of dudes, I mean, it's pretty good because dudes are pretty bad. So, they offer to have you pull up a chair. If you want to hang out and sit and talk to them. The one that looks familiar doesn't say nearly as much, and you still can't quite place it. He's a middle-aged, like in his 30s, human male, pretty average looking. Not necessarily the greatest fighter you've ever known or anything like that, but could hold his own. Always been quiet, from what you can remember, but you just can't remember his name. He doesn't even offer it up.
Are they sitting in a booth?
No, they're at a table in the middle of the bar.
Okay, never mind then. I'm gonna pull up a chair then and just sit next to the one who I don't recognize and look at the other one and just be like, man, don't get me wrong, but your mug looks really familiar.
He lifts his tankard up. He's like,
No, you're like fish.
Yeah, just have one of those faces. He kind of nods.
Yeah.
No smile. Very, very, very nothing. Like just a very neutral, steady dude. Very quiet. Not much opinion on anything you and the other guy are talking about. The other guy's a little like looser at the gab, but I don't know. You wanted to find out what they know about the cleric and his actions. Eventually.
Yeah, I just want to. Oh, sorry.
No, eventually, right? That's what you're trying to get to. Are you trying to deceive them into telling you something, or do you have like a straightforward question that you want to ask?
Just I guess kind of deceive them into telling me things. I want to basically loosen them up and talk to me and just have a normal conversation and stuff, and possibly buy the drink.
And we did persuasion. They're about to go back on duty. They're just here for lunch, so they're not going to take a drink.
Damn.
A late lunch, but they're still doing it. They will talk to you. They won't give you. They don't give you much information. They don't necessarily get suspicious of you, but they're not easily letting forth any kind of pertinent information. Not with a 12. Enough to get away from getting caught up in getting booked by the guards, but not enough to really pull anything out of them. It's a good idea though. I'm just trying to figure out what even they would know. I mean, to help you. I mean, knowing, because you already know the rotation that the guards are on, the city guards at least.
It's more of if they've seen him doing anything specific, going anywhere, if he has any certain. I more want to see if he has any certain I can't think of the word. God damn it. Repeated actions. I can't think of the word.
Yeah, if he continually does certain things all the time. He's known.
Yeah, like if there's just something specific.
He does go to daily mass in the mornings every day. That's pretty well known. Most of the churches have their different masses at different times or different ceremonies and whatever at different times. But he's pretty consistent with going to that. And he always stays after. So as the crowd clears, he's the last one to leave.
Okay. Every morning?
Every morning.
Okay, thank you guys. Y'all have a good shift. No waving them out and everything.
Okay, and you were just there as yourself, right? With like horns and beat up
Yep,
hobgoblin
did not
armor
want to even
and just
disguise or
chatting
anything.
dudes. All right, that's perfect. I love it. This makes for good times. All right, Bear, I think you're down there waiting, and everybody else is. Katie, did you go too? Is it Carrie and Bear? Yeah, Katie and Bear. So.
All right. You want to go first, Katie, or do you want me to?
You do it.
Me? All right. So I cast Speak with the Dead on Stephen Amplis.
Mm-hmm.
Does it succeed? Okay.
I mean, how's the spell read in there? You just cast it? Is it? What's the
Yeah,
casting?
I just cast it.
What's the?
It's got a
casting
cat. Let me see. Casting time 1 action, range 10 feet, and I get 10 minutes.
Okay, but.
All right. The thing says I get 5 questions.
All right, let's hear 'em.
So I ask, do you remember Bellafax? The what the heck's he called? A
Cleric.
cleric. Yeah. Do you remember Bellafax the cleric? Okay, I see heads moving, but I can't hear anybody talking.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
gotcha.
say anything.
There you go.
I rolled the dice and I'm considering. So, in Elven, the creature says, I've heard of a Bellafax. Is it yes, no questions?
It's up to the corpse.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of a Bellafax, not of a cleric.
Okay. Where does Bellafax live?
I don't know.
Okay. Why does someone want Bellafax dead?
He's a prick.
Fair enough. All right. Has Bellafax ever been known to favor ladies or gents of the night?
I don't know, but all of them tend to like one or the other. Am I right?
You are. All right. Last question. Do you want to tell anybody off before I put you? Because I got to put you back. So do you want to tell anybody to go fuck off? Well, you got my mind.
Bring me back to life, and I will reward you tenfold.
All right, that's going to take a while, buddy, but I'll do it. I'm down. All right, that's my 5 questions. I got to put you back. Bye. I get 5 questions, so.
Yeah, that's great. How'd it go?
It's interesting. Anyways, he doesn't know where he lives. He says he didn't say he did not favor ladies or gents of the night. So I don't. The reason behind that is depending on what kind of cleric he is. If he's a cleric, he's not going to like any of them. In fact, he's going to be detested. But everybody has their thing. As far as where he lives, no help there. He's a jerk, as far as the corpse says. So, but I don't feel like gathering any information that'll help with ending him. So,
not necessarily. Okay. Yeah.
How's my memory? Memory?
It was good. It was fine.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, he didn't have a ton of good information either way. The corpse of what is it?
Stephen Amplis.
Oh, yeah, Stephanopoulos. Stephanopoulos. Yep. Stephen Antholis or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that one did not have tons of information. Did tell these guys kind of a prick. Offered to reward you tenfold for bringing it back from the dead.
Said he wasn't always a cleric.
Didn't he said he said he didn't know that he'd heard of the name but not of one being a cleric.
Interesting. Okay. All right, so I go ahead and throw the dirt back on him. Put him back in his box, throw the dirt back on him, rebury him, and then head back to the bar.
Athletics. How long does it take?
All right, hold on. Skills. Oh. I got a 3.
Hell yeah! that first time when you dug the hole up, I mean, it went. This is taking for whatever reason you were dragging ass. Like you're not.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you're not used to digging holes and filling them in and casting high level spells and stuff. Like you're a little like dizzy from it almost.
That's right.
Like woo, that's a big spell. He's over here playing on his drums or whatever, like speaking to the dead. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, dead person, tell me some stuff. Like basically Cheech Marin. All right, cool. So, Katie,
Have a question for you. First of all, do I have any scars from recent battles, acid baths?
I mean, definitely have some acid marks from before, right? Or did you heal up? We healed up. So we slept that off. So yeah, you'd have some scars. You definitely. You're bitch slap. You definitely have scars.
Okay. So you can tell there's some recent nasty looking scars there.
Yeah, I mean, however many you'd like. It's your character.
Enough. All right, so I'm gonna finish up with these guys. Tell them you're doing a great job. Keep on it. I'll come back and maybe try to utilize this place in far fewer words, I'm sure. So I take my leave, and I'm looking for somebody that looks official, somebody in a uniform. Not sure I have enough brain power to really know who's who, but somebody that looks official. Do I find anybody? Or who do I find?
You're looking for somebody official.
Yeah, it just looks, smart.
All right. Just use perception. Let's see what perception has going on. An 8. You walk up to someone. That's for sure.
Do they look officialish to me?
To you, they look totally official. They have a shirt on.
They have a shirt on. Great.
The person, I mean, it's a flowy shirt too. It's pretty nice.
It's a flowy. I'm not looking for flowy. I'm looking for like uniformed people.
Oh well, maybe this isn't the one.
Official type looking people.
Well, they have a vest on too. I mean, they kind of. I mean, it's pretty official. I mean, flowy sleeves and a vest.
All right, so they maybe. If they're not official, they're smart.
Maybe, yeah. They have. They're at least swanky.
Swanky. Okay. So, in the most unintimidating way possible.
Roll intimidate. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not, but I am, right? So, feel free to roll it, but also say whatever you're gonna say.
I'd say hi, and 8 is what I got. It's not very good.
Just one growl.
And I say I'm new here. I'm here for the festival to relax. And a new friend just told me something I'm kind of worried about. They said that there's been piles of charred bodies showing up. And I'm scared of fire. I got burned. And I'm scared of fire, and I now don't know if I should stay in town.
Indeed.
You look smart or well dressed.
Hell yeah, he's got a pretty dapper stash too, and he's like, "Indeed, milady." You know, like real super dapper dude with the flowy arms and the vest on. He also has just a rapier, totally a swashbuckler, nice high boots. He looks pretty official compared to what you're used to. You know, a druid. You know, the bard. I mean, maybe comes close with his new duds, but yeah. So he says, "Indeed, my lady." And what do you intend to do?
Well, should I be worried?
I don't know. I don't worry about those kinds of things.
Has it been happening a lot, or just a couple? Is it
I mean,
to travelers?
it seems to be 3 or 4 random occurrences.
Just random, so it could be me.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't want to get burned.
Oh, I see. Yes, indeed. I wouldn't worry too much. I'm sure it's just kids playing pranks or something.
Kids playing pranks? Setting people on fire? All the way?
Oh, you mean the murders? Yeah, those people are just missing. Or they're dead. Who knows? There's nothing we can do about it until we have more information.
I thought there were piles of charred bodies.
Are they really bodies, though? If they're just charred goop? I'm not sure those are bodies.
Okay.
Now try intimidation. No, just joking.
Tell me everything!
So you're not worried?
I mean,
Pretty-
not as of currently. I mean, a few deaths, maybe, or some missing people, or goop that could or could not be. We don't know anything. We don't have enough information to be worried yet.
What kind of people were they that are missing? This bothers me. This worries me.
They were well done.
I was raised in the wilderness.
I didn't see that.
Don't trust people.
Yes, I'm sure everything will be fine.
What kind of people were they?
It's under control.
It's under control?
I'm sure it's under control.
How do you know?
I don't know. I'm just assuming. I just hear standing. And you came up to me.
But you said it's under control.
I'm sure it is. Someone's doing something, and they always are.
Someone's doing but you don't know.
I mean, I'm not doing anything. I just here. I don't know anything.
Well,
He's a
okay.
mess. So he's not a mess, but he's not in any relation to the black goops. He doesn't know what to make of it. Is essentially
just a
what
guy.
that can tell you.
And he's just sort of, he doesn't care. He's not
He's
worried.
not concerned. Yeah, he's not. He's haughty about it. Like, I'm fine. I'm a cis white male. I got this.
So you're not going to disappear. You're not in the demographic of disappearing folks.
He doesn't feel as so. I mean, he doesn't even really know the demographic himself personally.
Okay, guy. Well,
But he's
Nice
also just
meeting
not
you.
worried about it.
yeah. So I guess that's
Yeah, that's
wherever I found him. I'm just gonna wander back slowly to the.
just trudging along. All right, cool.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think everybody's now done their first 2 actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're at 10:21. First 2 actions are done. We have 2 more, then decision time on the cleric, right? So, what are you guys thinking?
Maybe get back together and talk about everything.
Right. That's what I was assuming. It's nighttime. Everybody's meeting back at the same inn.
So I mean, first we got to share what information we have with each other, obviously.
Yeah. So have a discussion at the Ironclad Inn with each other about what you guys all think and or found out.
So I mean, I think we've narrowed down where his house is, but we don't know for sure if he is there or is going to be there.
Well, he goes to church every morning or mass.
Do we know
And
exactly which church?
He's a follower of Lathander, so
But there isn't a temple for
There
Lathander.
isn't a Lathander temple here, though.
I mean, that begs the question: what in the world is he doing going to a church that he doesn't belong to?
Well, he also stays late at
But-
it. So.
And he's the bureaucrat for all the temples, so it could be he goes to a different mass every.
Yeah, as like a political thing,
Mm.
I guess. But I don't know. I feel like a cleric would be devoted to his or her deity, and that would be the church they go to. So if he goes to church every morning, I feel like it would be a Lathander if that's what he claims. But there isn't a temple here, so
Yeah, that's very odd. I also found out in my search through the nomenclature that he tends to carry a whole lot of potions and doesn't cast any magic.
Your mind, I thought.
Doesn't is strong.
Well,
Doesn't typically, but has.
okay, yeah, okay. Well, I'll rephrase that then. What he said.
All right.
Thank you, voice in the sky.
Thank you, spiritual intuition. And then
Looks up at the sky.
Right.
So I found out apparently some sort of jerk. So if you feel bad about killing him, don't. Unless you're deeper into that stuff, then okay, I understand.
I've heard in general that the populace does not enjoy the church very much. So
All right.
seems stand reason.
Well, you're saying the church, but there's multiple churches.
He's the bureaucrat of the church. They speak of the church as the temple district as a whole, apparently.
Oh, okay,
Let's
okay.
just go to the town, start a revolt. Have the town do it for us.
or do it in the chaos ourselves, and nobody will notice.
So wait a second. Stand at the festival in the middle of it. Use inspiration and everything we have, and start yelling, "Hang that guy! Hang that guy!" But
you can't deny a
shot.
good chant.
Say again.
It's worth a shot.
You can't deny a good chant. Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
At the very least, it'll be enough of a distraction to take the guard out of.
I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I am going to put this little tidbit in there that you're going to end up getting people killed over this.
Yes.
As long as the person we need killed gets killed.
And none of us get killed.
Hey,
And
guys.
remember when we talked about if a ton of people die at once, it wouldn't be that weird if he died too.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
bitch slap, yes.
People have been gone missing. They're missing. I think they're dead. I think they're turning into piles of charred bodies. So there's lots of people that have been murdered lately.
Ooh.
He'd fit right in.
So if we do it, go ahead.
If we kidnap him or burn him up into a pile.
It
I
Oh,
bet
shit.
it's him. I bet he's murdering people, though. I think he's a jerk. I think he's doing it. Just, I don't trust him.
So one of the other things that my friend mentioned was that I asked if he preferred ladies or gents of the night, and the answer wasn't a no, but it wasn't unsure. So if we do decide to appear all dressed up as ladies of the night, I feel like there's two avenues we can take. One, we could be offering, which, because he's a cleric, if he's a good one, he'll take poorly to. If he's a bad cleric, who knows what it'll do. Or we could go in with cleric's bacon and say that we're ladies of the night that want to redeem ourselves. Can't say no to that. Either way. So
We're full circle back to you guys all becoming ladies of the night.
Somehow that's what keeps happening.
Doesn't matter how much we plan. We got more information, guys. Plan stands.
I feel like you really want to get us all in dresses, so if we go that route, we'll stand a better chance.
I just got a new tie.
Look how happy he was. See?
But see, with that, he wasn't sure if it was ladies or men of the night. I feel like we need both.
I mean, it would just be non-binaries of the night, right?
Oh,
Non-binaries
that's right.
of the night.
It's 100%.
There you go.
Plus, we still don't know exactly which house this is. I mean, we got it pretty well narrowed down.
Oh,
But if we
Yeah.
end up at the wrong one, be like, we're looking for Lord Balafat.
I talked to this granny earlier, and she narrowed it down to 2 for me.
So if we knock on the wrong one, hey, we're looking, we just know he's here somewhere. Can you point us in the right direction?
Thanks, Shenanigans.
Right?
Shenanigans
So-
just subscribed, which means she gets to gift something to the party in some way. Normally it would be a crit or a failure if she's feeling absolutely mean. Shenanigans, type something in the chat that you think the party deserves at this point. If you come up with something good, we can potentially help the team out with their endeavors. So just throw whatever you thought, and we'll see if it'll work. But we'll figure it out from there. But so we've got 2 things done. You guys are all the way back to Ladies of the Night. Not sure if that's really the true plan still or not. But where are we at besides? So it's evening. You guys have all had a meal. You've all got the same arrangements as before at the inn. Everything's fine. You have figured a couple things out, a little bit of schedule. Figured out the guards' plan, like the guards' timing for the most part. You know the city watches timing and where they're posted. You know that he goes in the morning somewhere every day. In the morning he leaves his estate to come to service or church or something, according to Granny. You know he's kind of a prick. You know, there isn't a Lathander temple, but he's a Lathander cleric, according to himself and whomever else you've spoken to besides the dead elf in the ground that Lobolo spoke with.
I got it. Lobolo,
Mm-hmm.
you put men to sleep out on the battlefield.
So
Is
I
this-
hypnotized them.
Okay, well, you put them to sleep to me anyways.
Okay.
Um,
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of accurate, except they're just standing there like, their eyes spinning, you know?
yeah. Do they,
Seeing this-
do you need to see these men to make this happen?
Well, the way it works for me is I kind of imagine a spot of about 25 to 30 feet in a square. And as long as I can see that spot, I can cast the spell there.
He can he can do an area effect. He doesn't have to see who's getting hit with it. Just covers a certain area.
Does it have
Right.
to hit a person, or can it hit a location?
It's a location.
Mm.
I
Okay,
think. I could be
because-
wrong. Am I answering that too soon? Should I be looking?
Yeah, probably, because I just had okay, so my initial thought in my thought process is this guy's carrying a bunch of potions with him.
Mhm.
If he's going to help himself with anything, he's probably going to end up taking a potion.
Mm-hmm.
If we can hypnotize him to get him to not move, and we can do this in an area to keep his guards from moving, all we need to do is find a spot or a way for us to not get noticed and just walk up and let Zenobie do what Zenobie does.
Ooh. Speaking of potions on that, if we can add to that, what if we pickpocket him and swap out some of his potions for poison? And that way, if it does turn out to be a longer fight, or maybe he gets thirsty through the day, who knows what the potions are, then if he goes to drink the potion,
He's got like 4 hydro flasks he's just rolling around with.
They're just tucked into his ever-loving deep pockets.
So I have a question, Dane.
He's skipping along and shit.
Seeing as I can recall topography real well, now that Zenobie has narrowed down in that neighborhood, one of 2 houses that are his, what are that immediate area like? Like, are there yards? Are there shrubs? Are there trees? Is it like super close together, the 2 buildings? Like, what's...
So those 2 manors next to each other both have fences are like walls with gates around. The walls are about 15 feet tall, with a 10-foot wide gate with 2 gates on both of them. They're kind of similar, as is a lot of the Emerald Enclave. The stone and stuff all looks to be of the same kind of stylish colors. Being the emerald strand, it's kind of a greenish stone they've got for the walls. Both manors are also very similar. Both have small gardens with, bushes trimmed a certain type of way and like a little fire pit. Then there's one has a fire pit and one has like a small pool. So you can.
I would wager that there should be one noticeable difference between the two, though.
That could be part of somebody's act to go and figure out which
Guards.
one it is. One of their
Guards.
actions, Now that you
So
know
are
there's
we-
2, it could be.
Out of 2 days, are we into the half of 1 day?
We're
Or
through.
into,
Well, okay. I guess you didn't. I think everybody did 2 actions, right? We're pretty much.
Yeah,
The
we're at the
discussion
end
we
of the
had
first
was,
day.
should be about the first day.
Yeah. So the first day is coming to an end. You guys are back at the inn.
So really, we need to make a decision if we're going to go do this tonight or if we're going to take tomorrow and do it in the moments leading up to the festival. That's what we really need to decide right now.
Oh, well, I mean, at this point, we do have it narrowed down to 2 houses.
Dressing up as ladies of the night and seeking forgiveness is a valid excuse to knock on the wrong door,
yep.
Yeah.
which would get us there. And thought I just had is if the 5 of us dress up and Zenevieve is conveniently hiding and he comes out to, give us absolution real quick and wave us off, she can pop out Shank and then we all fucking scatter. We still got to worry about the guards, obviously. It's not completely thought through. Just a very rough plan.
Well, that's where Lobolo and his sleepy time.
So
Hypnotic pattern.
out of
comes
character,
into
I
play.
wanted to ask the details of that, if there's restrictions or limitations on what that spell will affect.
120 foot, 30 foot area, and it's anything that has a wisdom save, basically.
So
I know
It
some
would
of the
work.
spells
They're
have
humans.
restrictions on, like, if you have an intelligence above 6, it's no
No,
good.
it's hypnotic. It's not intelligence driven. It's a good spell.
But
And
is
this-
there the chance that they pass the wisdom save and
Yes.
are not hit? Okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
If they have a high enough, I think, intelligence or wisdom
It's
or what have
wisdom.
you, they can. And then
But if we're also doing this in the middle of the night, the assumption would be there wouldn't be too many people around. So if we did get into combat and we could kill it off quickly, we should be able to do what we need to do and slip away before there's too much of an alert going out.
well, that one, also yes, but also we need to determine that once we see what's going on with him. If he's walking around with 6 bodyguards, we may have to reevaluate.
Well,
no,
that was determined. That was
You
determined that
found
he
out last
cares.
night, thus from your hickeys, that they go in 2 guard shifts 3 times a day.
The
is
only
that
time
the
he
city
has
guard or his personal
That's
guard?
his personal guard.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
he only carries 6 during the events. So that's why
Okay.
tonight he'll only have 2.
And if
All
we slip in between the city guard rotations, that gives us 15 minutes, assuming they aren't alerted to do what we got to do.
Okay. Now another question I had is dead in this world seems to kind of be different. So do we have to make sure he's dead, non-resurrectable, or is just dead, not breathing, and then it's not our problem
So
anymore?
dead is an expensive problem to fix.
He's a cleric, though.
Someone would have to pay to fix it.
Mm.
Well, Zenevieve, well,
He's allegedly a cleric. We have yet to find evidence to support that he officially is one. He
Mm.
claims to be one.
Mm.
We just
But
haven't
there's not a
found
temple for him here.
so
And
Right,
he,
but-
the
but
bigger
there's a lot of-
question is that does
There's a lot
Zenevieve
of
want to
things
take his
saying
head?
he might not be. There's nothing definitive saying he is.
but there's also a lot of things saying that he may not be a cleric. He may be a cleric, but maybe not for Lathander.
Fair enough. So, but one fireball should fix his corpse enough not to be resurrected, right? and he looks like a burnt clump to whatever.
I mean,
And then
Speaking of fireballs, Ballard, during your evaluation of the area, did you happen to notice any empty buildings that might be off in the distance, away from where we needed to be?
so you can fireball from a distance.
No.
Good
For
question.
distraction.
sniper
There
out the
you
window.
go.
That'll at least draw the town guard away, which would give us.
Oh, that's another thing I need to bring up to you guys. So there's apparently a ton of hired help outside of the normal guard and outside of Lathander's guard that's also currently in the city.
What are they
Oh.
doing here?
They're extra help for the festival.
Well, once again, if I can not hurt anybody, I'll be glad to set a building ablaze for a distraction. But we need to determine if there was one. And I was busy in a library, so I didn't get a chance to evaluate the terrain area.
So I pull up my little hand scribbled map and look to see if there was anything.
So you're pretty good at art.
Yeah, it's a map.
I mean, is it?
It wasn't a very big area, so
Okay,
I
alright.
feel like I could get something
Relatively
pretty
down.
adequate to scale without too much effort.
I know, but I like to do stuff. So what do you think? We can do performance or sleight of hand.
Performance it is.
Oh yeah.
Or do you think, wouldn't that be more of like a nature survival kind of thing because of it's a trait it comes from?
No, not really.
Nice attempt.
I mean, I'm
You really
just
tried.
I see where
I'm
you're coming from.
spitballing.
I don't believe it, but I see it.
Insight to recall what he saw.
Well,
Yeah.
he already knows what he saw.
Investigate
He
stuff.
knows what he saw. I was thinking
It's-
performance or
this
sleight
is
of hand
artistic.
to articulate it onto paper.
This is
What about
artistic
athletic?
ability.
Athletics for, because I'm using muscles. to
Pushing
get the
hard. You're like really.
At that rate, why not acrobatics? Because you're
Hey.
Good lord.
No, what did you originally say? Sleight of hand or performance?
Yeah.
All right, performance. 11.
It's an adequate drawing. I just made a roll for fun. It's an adequate drawing that he comes up with as far as the area goes. And Mike, you wanted to know what now? Is there an empty building?
I am looking for a rundown empty building, some place that we can set ablaze away from.
There's a rundown empty building for sale, actually.
Well,
Great. And is there
It's across the street in the Imperium, though.
oh shit.
But it's
But
on.
that-
I mean, it's
so
on
it's
the
a-
same street. It's just on the Imperium side.
That's not so far away that it wouldn't draw the guards out. But it's not so close that while they're there trying to look at a fire, that they would be able to hear us fighting. Like,
Okay,
it's-
that's
a
what I'm
pretty
aiming
decent-
for.
That's a pretty decent distance. Like, it's not so far away that you wouldn't be able to light it and then get to us, but it's not so close that they'd be able to hear what's going on if we did end up in active combat. I
Gotcha.
feel, at least. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dane.
I feel that sounds pretty good.
All right.
go either
So I say we do this tonight. I say we head to the two homes. If you guys want to dress up to get their attention, that's great. I'll head to the home.
So you're not a lady
Up
of
for
the
sale?
night, Mike?
I mean, it isn't going to do me any good to dress up because I'm just going to go set a house on blaze and then come back and help with the cleanup.
Ladies of the night can get around town better than you, Mike. It might be a good idea for Aram to throw a. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe a gold dress? You want to do red?
I think I'll do fine without any dress. Thank you.
Wearing a robe anyway. It's close enough.
You got to keep in mind, too, though, Mike, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
They're going to remember you running through the streets, potentially yelling fire to get them all to start moving, as opposed to a lady of the night in a dress.
He's not lying. If you were a lady
Who's
of the
probably
night and
just
you're like, oh my god, a
working.
fire, they wouldn't be like that elf wizard or elf sorcerer cast the spell. He looks suspicious
I
in
think-
his sparkly
I think his
shoes.
name's
That
Aram.
bearded elf.
Yeah, the bearded elf.
So
Yeah.
some sort of disguise.
It'll make sense to wear the disguise.
That's true.
It'll
You
make
get-
so much more sense being a bearded lady of the night.
Well, he'll have a veil.
Yeah.
He'll have a veil. He's very mysterious.
I don't know how many uses Genevieve can get out of her disguise kit, but we can do
I don't
something.
either.
Let me check. Just enough.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Okay, so I think
You're
it's
gonna
a
give
problem.
me extra uses on it just to put Mike in a dress.
Just in spite, you guys. So you guys make all the decisions.
I think it's a solid plan. Mike lights up the house at a pre-designated time. The four of us. Are we gonna try and get Genevieve a sneaky sneak?
The goal is for her to attack it first, from what I understood.
Yeah,
Attack it
so to get the effect with her dagger, she just has to attack him before he attacks anybody else.
Right, and she essentially
Oh.
could get 2 of those attacks in if she attacks him in a surprise round and then attacks again in his first
initiative.
initiative. She could potentially get 2 murder time dice rolls.
Are these houses close together?
There's about 10 feet between them, between the two. There's a small alley between the 2 manors.
Okay.
What's gonna suck?
So
This is out of character. I'm sorry. Continue,
Okay.
Mike.
So is there windows on the homes in the alley side?
No,
Both of
because they're both. They have walls. They have the 15-foot walls around the manors.
Okay.
The alley is
Well, you-
the 2 sets of walls.
Okay. Well, so what I was picturing in my head was if there was windows, but essentially let's take away the word windows and put in access to said homes within, you said 10 feet, 20 foot with a rope cut across one house to the other. We put Genevieve up top, and she's got a way to get into the home while they're distracting guards at the front door. Come in the backside and do what she's got to do.
That's
If
more
things
gentlemen
go
of the
south,
night.
if something goes wrong, she's in the house by herself.
Well,
Right.
that's why.
Not that
That's
she
why.
can't hold her own, but
That's why the crew is distracting the
We-
guards at the door.
If that happens though, and you guys need to leave, we should have a code word. That way, I can sneak back out of the house.
So we're gonna yell the code word to you.
What
Or
about
just
you?
say in casual conversation.
Lobolo has the message as a spell.
I do, as long as I can point at the person.
so you need line of sight there.
Yeah, I need. to
And
be
then
able to
they
point
know
to
where
them
I
and
am.
Focus.
Right.
Let me check one of my things here. Where is it? Oh, I have to be able to see the creature to use Awaken Mind with it. So that won't work.
Okay.
Yeah, which plan are we doing so that I know how
I
to
think-
prepare?
Well, at this point, I think we're like piecing it all together. I mean, at this point, we've
Mhm.
determined I'm going to set a house on flames to get the guards
Okay.
to go somewhere else.
The town
Okay.
guard. Let's
The town guard,
clarify.
right? We're going to have you guys are going to dress up as women of the night to go to the doors of the 2 homes that are in question to which one belongs
Oh.
to set.
I'm assuming we're going to have to stop at the front gate and get somebody to come out, given Dane's description of it. 15-foot wall, gated wall. So we're probably going to have to get somebody to come out. I mean, really the only question from there is if we want to try and get Genevieve in the building while they're out dealing with us, or if we want Genevieve out with us and try to get Balfax out, and then she just needs to get close, do a sneak attack. Hopefully that'll be it, if not followed on by an immediate first attack, and then
Okay.
put him to sleep and fucking dip.
And just a quick recommendation, Genevieve. After he's dead, cut the head off.
That's what I was thinking. Aw.
Let's
Elven
work on
folks
not
think
letting him come
alike.
back, right?
Right.
I mean, I think that's a pretty solid plan.
To be if it's necrotic damage though, doesn't he like
Yeah.
crumble?
Yeah, he turns into black goopy mass.
Yes.
So maybe like a signet ring or something he might have on him, something to identify him. As him.
Wait. Never mind. Never mind.
I mean, if she kills him and takes his belongings that aren't turning into goo, that'll keep him from being identified. Because I mean, we're talking about old world style. There's no DNA here to work with, so I mean,
the guards will probably report it anyways. I don't think we need evidence.
Well, there's just magic.
and he'll just disappear at that point. You know, he won't be murdered. They don't know where he went, but
He'll just be missing. They won't know where the body is. It won't be
right.
He won't be actually dead.
To be a part of the pie.
But he'll be dead, but he won't actually be dead. He'll just be missing. Sounds
I mean,
similar.
I mean, if I can get to the puddle, I can always flame it up, and we'll charge goo. We'll really make sure he's not coming back.
There you go. I just don't want to meet him later when he's leveled up a couple times.
Yeah, and then, I mean, from there, Lobolo just needs to put the guards into the haze, and then we can all fucking dip out. No unnecessary loss of life. Mission accomplished.
So remind me then, how are you guys getting into the manor once you figure out which one's which? So first mode of action, figure out which one you're going to need to get into. Second mode of action is getting into it?
Yeah. So based on what we've discussed as individuals of the night, to be gender neutral, basically we're just going to pick a gate and knock on it, get somebody to come out and, you know, claim that we're seeking we're passing through and seeking retribution, and we're directed
not retribution
or absolution.
Absolution. There
We're
we
here
go.
to retribute.
Yeah. Seeking
Spank me,
absolution.
Daddy. Spank me.
I mean, maybe he's that kind of cleric. I don't.
He could be. You know,
But
that's an
seeking
important question.
absolution. And then if we knock on the wrong one, you know, I'm pretty sure the neighbor knows who his neighbor is. And just be like,
Right.
"Yeah, that one." So, but that gives us a legit reason for knocking on the wrong door and not drawing too much attention to ourselves.
All right, well, we've got 10 minutes. You guys want to play up to that part real quick?
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody have a vial of poison I can have?
I think me and Sylvia are sharing one.
I mean, before we go any further, does anybody have any issues with the plan? Does anybody want to do anything different?
I think we should all just go have tea with Granny. And she's probably like the most powerful person alive in the whole world. Befriend the crazy old lady. I mean, no, not really, because she didn't tell us about tea with Granny. So.
Cats and shit.
Well, you know about Tea with Granny, right?
Me?
Cal does.
Oh,
Cal
I
does.
do.
And
Yeah.
she probably shared that with you as you guys are
Oh, I
friends.
totally
Oh, is it
told.
BFFs?
Oh yeah, bitch slap. I totally told you all about that.
Oh, so everybody knows about Tea with Granny. You guys could postpone your attack until you have Tea with Granny. And everybody's first act could be Tea with Granny. And then second act would be Make Happen.
I'm just saying I'm for tea with Granny because
I think we make
Bitch
happen
slap.
and then celebrate with Granny.
Bitch Slap likes making
To get
friends.
away from like the chasing hordes, go to Granny's house.
Back, make it happen tonight, and then use Granny as a safe house to hide out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
like
didn't,
that idea.
but we didn't ask Granny if that'd be okay.
Well,
She didn't
doesn't
say
have
what
to
time.
know that it's a safe house. We're just there for tea, as far as she's concerned.
I feel like Sylvia would bumble that. She'd be like, well, just here for some tea. She rolls a 1. Like, why is the devil in here right now? It's hard to say. That would be your classic fail move. Just everybody else is getting along. Bitch Slap even looks right at home with a little teacup, but then Sylvia reaches in, you know, bowl in the china shop. Yeah. All right, so maybe we won't get all the way up to there, but I was thinking we could. So we're thinking we're doing it next. The next move is you guys are going to go to the manor, figure out whose house is whose, and go in.
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Like right
cool.
now, like adventurers, though, we need to like steal clothes on the way or something.
Oh no, we got this. We got this. It's fine. Lobolo has everybody's outfits in his cart.
Okay.
What's left of his cart.
That's right.
Hey, really, we just need like some kind of robe to put over everything so we look not as adventurous.
So, just so I'm clear, am I hiding among you guys or am I sneaking into the house?
Yes.
I would say hide among us personally. That's my opinion. Like, you're right there. He's gonna come out. He's gonna walk up to us. In my mind, that's how it's gonna play out. He's gonna walk up, give absolution, and you just.
Well, yeah, but you can't.
I just pop out from between bitch slap's legs.
Okay, so I understand that you tell me that there was walls up in the alleyway, but you can't tell me that the buildings didn't have some kind of window somewhere.
The buildings do.
Well, I mean, is there a way for Genevieve to sneak in a side window?
Once she's inside the manor walls, yeah. The it's not a building wall. It's like literal walls around the manor. The manor itself is a separate building.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking is, if Genevieve is hiding and sneaks in the side window, while everybody else is out front distracting the guards, she can get in and get alone with the so-called cleric.
And
So
the guards want to see.
just to play devil's advocate, I see two downsides to that. One, if she doesn't get an instant kill or she gets discovered, she's on her own in there. Two, if she gets discovered, it's blown. We have to do this right now. Whereas with the front gate approach, with all five of us up front, worst case scenario, the guard's going to tell us to piss off. And, if we have to leave, we have to leave. We've still got the rest of that day to come up with another plan and make it happen leading in.
Or we befriend the guard with charm person. Then he walks us right up to the front door.
That's a very valid possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the next stop is
guard comes out.
Right. Well, you cast it, I cast it. And then...
I don't have it prepared.
Oh.
Not tonight.
It would take, I believe, an hour of meditation for me to prepare it.
I feel like you have an hour. Shit, it's been an hour. You prepared it if you want it.
Okay. Hey, I'll set it up just in case.
And then what I'll do is I'll hang out at I suppose like a crossroads or somewhere near, and watch you guys from a distance. And once I see you guys have entered the grounds to the domicile, I'll head to the house to set it ablaze.
All right, the five that are going to the house, give me perception checks.
Okay, hold on.
Not saying we're there yet, but I just want to do it so I can...
14.
18.
So I don't get to go have tea with Granny, huh?
Not tonight, not this late. Maybe tomorrow would be a better time. Cal explains to you the etiquette of the tea time and when it actually is.
2 o'clock?
Yeah, sure.
2 o'clock a.m.?
Highest was 2 o'clock a.m. The highest was an 18?
Yes.
Okay. You're pretty sure the one on the right is... The one with the fire pit, you're pretty sure is the one that... I'm sorry, the one with the pool is the one that you're pretty sure is the priest or the cleric of Lathander.
What? No montage of us putting on lipstick and rouge and fixing our hair and looking fucking fantastic?
No, that's definitely going on.
Okay.
I just as you guys approach wearing Lobolo's assorted treasures of lady clothes, Abraham, you have a bow in your hair you didn't know about. Genevieve got real sneaky with it because Sylvia told her it would be cute.
And I listen to everything Sylvia says.
And you have no idea, but you're wandering around with that bow from that one pop person that has the giant bows. I don't know who it is.
Jojo Siwa?
Yeah, you got it. You got one of those tacked to the top of your hair. And you don't even know it. It's in your color, though. It really brings out your eyes. But anyway. Yeah, so you guys are able to figure out which one it's going to be, even though you are all dressed top to tail to toe as ladies of the night now, full-on courtesan looks, looking good. With an 18, you know that the one with the pool, which is the one on the right, is most likely like 80-90% is probably Lathandrian clerics. Do you still want to knock and call the guard forth? And Cal, were you gonna say something else as well? I thought you were gonna say something before. You had no. Okay.
Oh, can someone pass me a vial of poison, please?
I
Oh,
have acid if you want it also.
Acid, yes. A vial of acid would be awesome.
Yes, it
There's
would.
my acid.
Splashing
It's
in their
not
eyes.
psychedelic
Thank you.
acid. It's like burn you a bunch acid.
That's what I'm after.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're on the
Darn.
same page. I don't want to mess anybody's world up. Okay, so I think that's probably a good place to be like, oh shit, we're about to do this. I'm sorry, did you say you're calling the guards forth, or you're going to try and sneak in?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, is to try and get the guards, or even if Alfax came straight to the gate, but I don't think he would, given he has guards.
Yeah, no, he's not coming straight to the gate.
Yeah, try and get one or both guards to the gate so we can seek absolution.
Who's talking for the team here?
Can't be me, unfortunately.
I'll do it.
Probably not me.
Really
I'll
good
do it.
persuasion or deception.
Labolo is probably good at one or both of those.
Yep. Deception. Totally.
Hey, out of character, Labolo, if you didn't know, you can cast that second level and hit both of them at the same time.
For charm person?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what level does that double at? And then...
Level 2.
So
Oh, okay, cool.
two
Yeah.
If you
guards-
cast it at level 2, you can cast it on 2 targets within 30 feet of each other. They both have to
Nice.
pass a wisdom save, though.
Awesome.
2 guards show up at the gate. Go away.
Oh, hello there. Is this the home of the Grand Cleric Bellafax?
Prime Counselor Bellafax, and none of your
What?
business. Corrects
Oh.
your name and corrects the name, and then it says none of your business.
All right. Well, I go ahead and cast.
Streetwalker.
I go ahead and cast a charm, or I use deception. I'm like, hey, look, we are ladies of the night, gathered from all over the land, and we have come to
'Cause that's
repent.
that's what they call themselves, right? We are ladies of the night.
I mean,
That's-
I would.
I say it with a little wink of my eye, ladies of the night, and a small quirk in my smile. We have come to repent and seek absolution.
Okay, go to church.
We want this done tonight. So I start talking and telling this random story about where we come from. Meanwhile, I'm casting chant or charm person.
Okay, first of all, roll your deception.
Okay, hold on. I got to go back there. Deception. 15.
All right, you're definitely a lady, and you're definitely of the night.
All right, so I go ahead and start. Since they're being difficult, I'm going to cast charm person on both of them.
All right, and then everybody can just roll initiative too.
Oh, want initiative first?
No, you can cast it. What's my wisdom save?
Hold on. Okay, how do I duel it? Does that like a left click or?
Right
Right
click
click.
if you're rolling with advantage.
I'm going to use my inspiration to reroll my initiative.
Okay, and don't forget that our new subscriber has one sneaky peek she can throw at us too. Shenanigans Sleet Sauce. For subscribing, you can give somebody a favor or whatnot somehow.
I could totally use initiative to reroll my 6.
All right, so do I have to cast charm person twice?
No,
or-
you just cast it at a second level.
How do I do that? Like hold down the right and click, or?
No, because it's a wisdom save. So all you're doing is announcing that you cast it using a second slot on both
okay.
of them, and then
Alright.
he'll roll the wisdom saves from both of them.
All right,
and
so
then
I'm
I also
casting.
want everybody's initiative. So starting at the top, is anybody above 20? 19, 18, 17?
18.
18 for Cal. For Zenavi, okay. 17 16.
Right here,
16.
17.
17 for Lobolo.
7
No,
for
ARAM.
Lobolo.
17 is
16?
ARAM.
Oh, 17 is ARAM?
Yes.
Okay, 16, 15, 14, 13,
And then 7.
I got 14.
14.
Jeez.
7 for Lobolo. Who else got what?
And a 6.
6 for me too.
I got 3 6s on here. No big deal. Bitch Slap and Balar. Okay. Sounds good. So top of the round, right after Charm Person goes off, one of them's eyes start spinning like this. As he's like looking at you like, oh, we're buddies, right? You know, like super doped out of his mind on your Charm Personliness. The other one does one of these and says, what the, you know? And Genevieve, you're first. You can give me a perception check.
Okay.
Actually, let's wait. That's where we're at. One got charmed, one didn't. Both guards are at the fence. You guys are positioned around the
Are you
fence.
sure you don't want that perception check?
Sure, go ahead.
15.
You know that the guy did not get charmed. One
So
did. The other did
maybe-
not. He's
maybe
standing
somebody
within
else
arm's
can-
reach if you were to bum rush the gate from your sort of hidden position here behind Bitch Slap and Sylvia. Just a heads up. So come back next week for a case of the Wednesdays when we go Ladies of the Night to Ladies of Murder. And then we see what happens as they storm the castle / manor of the kind of a prick prime counselor Balifax. We'll see what happens. See if you guys get this off without the town guard, the private guard, the military, the private military, the mercenaries, the adventurers from all over. Have fun storming the castle. That's 100% what I was doing with that. Thanks, Jacob. But yeah, so definitely come back for next week, guys. We'll do this. I think we'll do the same format because I want my computer back by then. I'm waiting for some stuff to come in, and then I will. And even still, I kind of like this. I will figure out a way to better share maps for you guys and stuff as needed, to where the stream can see as well. This was not really a plan. I didn't take a lot of time put into figuring out what the way to go, but I kind of like it. I like to, see your guys' faces, discuss stuff back and forth, roll as necessary. If it ever gets real crunchy combat-wise, we can throw maps out there as needed, and even use Fantasy Grounds again because I do like my Fantasy Grounds. But it's nice to have alternatives, and I appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed, do so. Don't forget to follow and all that stuff. See you guys next time for Streamlined, and then this again Wednesday.